All right. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. SQL Dev DBA here, and today we're just going to take it easy. Today we are going to play a little bit of a keyboarding game that I found, which allows me to sort of test my keyboards, and then we're just going to build a quick ERD of an IMDB database that was made. I don't know. It was introduced to me by Brent Ozar in one of his weekly emails. So pretty excited to get into that. First, gear check. So let's take a look. We have a keyboard that's basically a super low cost keyboard. It's called the DarkFlash DF98. It's available on Amazon, I think, for like 60 bucks, 70 bucks. I got it on Woot for substantially less because I saw it and I said, why not? It's a mechanical keyboard. I want to try it. It's very low cost. And so I got it. It's pretty nice. I just unboxed it today. It's pretty nice. It has a pretty good feel, very soft keys. This is something that if you like really clickety clacky mechanical keyboards, you probably won't like this too much. But it has a pretty nice feeling. It's good for office. If you work in an office by chance, you'll probably want something very soft and not very loud like this. The key strokes are again pretty loud or pretty soft, so you should be okay there. Yeah, and the mouse is very interesting. This is called the LoFree Touch. It's basically a mouse that's designed to be very similar to a mechanical keyboard. The buttons are very mechanical keyboardy. I don't know if you can. Yeah, there we go. It has a screen on it to show the DPI, and then the two buttons are again very mechanical keyboardish. It's supposed to be very 80s looking, I guess, is the way I can express that. And the scroll wheel is also very bare bones. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks just like a if a mechanical keyboard were a mouse, it would be this basically. So very interesting mouse. I like it so far. Time will tell if it's that nice. All right, so let's check out the room. I think that camera is finally working. So after my redesign last weekend, I think, when I got my Mac Mini, I finally got this vertical monitor here working fine, and the horizontal one, which was also upgraded, working fine. Teleprompter's giving me a few issues, but we'll try to work through those. Yeah, the Elgato prompter, for some reason on the Mac Mini, it likes to time out after a while. So I want to see if it's a permissions issue or something like that. But for now, everything seems to be stable. Everything seems to be working. The Mac Mini was a great upgrade from my MacBook Pro from 2021. It's the super base Mac Mini, but it's doing really well so far. And hopefully this camera doesn't freeze up. And I'm not really going to have it on much anyway, so it should be okay. All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look really quick at what we're going to be doing with our ERD. Again, this was introduced to me by Brent Ozar via his weekly emails. Basically, it is this one right here, is this entry right here, querying movie data. He basically just gave us a link to IMDB's open data exports. And when you go to that link, which is basically this one right here, you're just met with IMDB data files that are available for download. As you can see, they're sort of like zip files. And so you can download these and then use something like 7-zip to extract them. But there's also some information about it, or about the data sets. And you can see them right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this particular link because I think it's going to be the easiest one for anyone to check out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if I end up uploading it to YouTube, you can see the link in the description right here below. But if you're here on Twitch with me, you can click on that link and it'll take you straight there. So what I wanted to do was take the information that's given to us right here in the description and sort of make a pseudo ERD about it. My original intention today for streaming was actually doing another exercise where ChatGPT gives us about 10 select statements or 10 select queries, and what it does is format the select queries in a way where there's no data about the tables themselves, about the SQL Server objects or T-SQL objects, or Oracle, really whatever database platform you prefer to use. Instead of giving us any information about them and asking us to create an ERD, all I ask it for are select statements. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's actually a video where I first did this, and it was very interesting because it basically is meant to simulate how your first week as a new data analyst, data architect, database administrator will go. I've done plenty of like interview exercises, both as an interviewer and as an interviewee, and basically they're sort of like, simple, oh hey, what's a select statement, hey, make a select statement that does this, including the ones that I've done. But ever since I was introduced to this new method, I've realized that when I'm interviewing like database administrators, database architects, that sort of thing, this is the method that I want to do, because I feel that it will do a really good job simulating what the initial workload was. When I've joined companies in the past, there's usually little to no documentation about the databases. This isn't something that's uncommon, it's a normal thing. And it's usually my job when I first get there to ensure that the databases are documented, the data structures are documented well. And so the ChatGPT exercise does a really good job of preparing you for that. And so that's what I was going to do. However, this is a little bit better because it's data that you just kind of found on a website, or Brent Ozar introduced me to this data on the website. And it does have some information about the data, right? We do see here for each file, for the title AKAs, we have the title ID, we have the ordering, the title, the regions, we have all the fields here. We have a basics file that has, again, the title ID, title type, primary title, is adult or not. We have accrue, we have principals, we have ratings, and we have name basics. And so I thought, okay, well, if this data is out here and it exists, there doesn't seem to be an ERD on it. There's just kind of like this text, which is, hey, that's better than nothing. So hopefully we can use this to build an ERD. Dear Jonathan V3 dice, hola, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo le trata la vida? Muy bien, Jonathan. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Me trata bastante bien. Ayer fuimos a Magic Kingdom y la pasamos bastante bien. Hoy es un día de estar en casa, de estar streaming. Espero que tu fin de semana te haya ido bastante bien también y que estés teniendo un lindo domingo. Vamos a hacer este stream en inglés, pero básicamente creando un mapa de la base de datos de IMDB, de la base de datos de cine, a ver cómo nos va. Es un ejercicio de entrevista que yo usualmente hago. Vamos a ver cómo nos va. Y si tienes alguna pregunta en inglés, español, lo que sea, no importa, déjame saber y te la contesto en cualquier lenguaje que tú quieras, además de solo puede ser inglés, español. Esos son los únicos lenguajes que sé bien, desafortunadamente. Bueno, let's go. Let's try this. Actually, you know what? No, we're gonna play a small bit of game here. The game is called, I think, Glyphica, and it's just a way to test out my keyboard and make sure that it's okay. But it's a pretty fun game. So it is. Let me see if I can bring it up. All right. So the game is called Glyphica, and basically the premise around it is that you are a ship that can't move, but there's all these like asteroids or enemy ships. I don't really know what they are, and the only way to defeat those or shoot them down is by typing the word that they represent. So I'm gonna give it a shot, maybe like a 10-minute session, just to warm my fingers up, I guess, just to get things going. Let me see if I can turn on my camera again. All right, that one works. And does the room cam work? Room cam seems to work. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if that does anything. Hopefully it doesn't freeze. I don't know, it might freeze, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can make it work. I'm gonna do a new game, and we'll do a trials or an endless one. Let's see how long we can go. We'll just do an endless. The trials are basically just like waves, and then the endless one, they just keep coming until you die, basically. So let's start an endless and see how it goes. We're gonna play on just basic mode, no omens, which all the omens are locked anyway. You can also go into like relax mode or typist mode, where it's a little bit easier to start up, but we're just gonna play in standard mode and let's see how it goes. All right. Starting off pretty... Oh, nope. Immediately. All right, let's do an upgrade here. So the cool thing is that you basically don't use your mouse at all. You just use your keyboard. And basically, if you make a mistake, you just get to try again. You don't have to hit delete or anything like that. We'll do a hollow point. And let's do an upgrade of blade traps. I like those. Some of the words are standard, but some of them don't make a lot of sense. They're meant to like trick you, I guess. It seems easy at first, but it's meant to like be a little bit tricky when you get going. All right, let's see. I try to go after the ones that aren't going to be in the way of those helicopter things, because those will get taken care of anyway. But here we go. Now it is starting to get a little bit... Okay, now we have to upgrade. We'll do a shotgun. I have no idea what these things do. They're just power-ups. Let's see. Optic. That's better, I guess. Oh, okay, we have more stuff. Good, good. Let's do more blade trap. All right, there we go. Ah, I made a mistake there. I think it freezes everything until you make a mistake. Ooh. Alright, I gotta level up. I think that's the only like small break that you get, is when you do level up. Okay, so new weapon, grime. I like that. It seems cool. Okay, lunch. Ooh, this is getting a little tight. And there's some that come at you pretty quick. All right, we can level up. PRFY, hello. Hope you are doing well. Great to see you. Yeah. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing really well. Thanks for being here. We are doing just a quick game, just to get everything sorted, and then we're gonna do an ERD of the IMDB database. So thanks for jumping in. PRSY says, glad I could catch you live this time. Was getting late last time, so couldn't join. Of course. Happy Sunday. Good to be here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. It's gonna be an interesting session, I think. Let me go ahead and give you the link really quick to the data set that we're going to be looking at today, just so you can check it out for yourself. This was made by IMDB, but it was announced by Brent Ozar. He shared it with us in his weekly emails. All right, let's see if I can wrap up maybe 5 more minutes of this game, and then we will get to work and see if we can get some ERDs going. Let's see. We will do, right now we're just playing a quick game of Glyphica, which is basically just a typing practice game where you're a ship and you have to destroy all your enemies, but only by typing. So hopefully it goes well for us. We'll see how it goes. Let's do a blade trap upgrade for this middle one here, blend. All right, cool. Let's see. Doesn't seem challenging at first, but yeah, becomes very challenging. Ooh, sweet. PRY says, ERDs are cool. I study computer science. I never really used them for non-coursework before. Well, let's chat about that really quick, because it's very important, I think, as someone who has joined data teams many times already and who now leads data teams. I find it very, very important to make sure you are always documenting, right? That's part of the development process, is to make sure you document. Some teams do not define done unless it is documented. The project is not done unless it's documented. And I have landed on new data teams a lot where basically there's no documentation. And so it's been my job to, number one, develop that documentation, and also sort of a selfish way of getting to know the data structures, right? Getting to know the databases that I'm now in charge of. And so I've always found it a really good thing to create ERDs. I'm a huge fan of them. I really like and enjoy creating them as well. So yeah, we're gonna check it out and see how we like it. This data is, before today I didn't even explore it. I just saw it in Brent's email and I knew it was gonna be good. So we'll see how it goes. All right, a few more minutes of this and then we can get to it. Let's see, vulnerability. Yeah, vulnerability. Let's do that upgrade. Oh, some of these come really, really quickly. Ooh, that ultra is coming really fast. It's gonna hit me. And it sort of has this snowball effect where everything comes at you now faster because you were so concentrated on it. Okay, I think that is good. I think we are okay to go here. Let me go ahead and close this game. I'm gonna have to I think die for it to go away. Let's do pros. I don't know. Mouse. I think we're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to surrender. Let's do that. All right, let's get to work. Enough messing around here. I really do like this game. It's pretty chill, and it gives me a good chance to test out my keyboard. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe during the week I'll stream for like 30 minutes, just that game and a different keyboard, just so I can get some sound clips and sort of have the keyboard there, show them off a little bit, because I have as of today 21 keyboards. I just counted them early this morning. I have 21 keyboards and I need to do something with them. So Pierre White says, would love to see the process. I have semester and exam in 2 days, lots to study. Ooh, I wish you the best with that. I'm sure you will do a fantastic job. I can't imagine the stress you are under. I do remember those days. So I hope everything goes really well for you, and feel free to use me as sort of a screensaver. I'm happy to have you as a, or I'm happy to have you have me as a screensaver. And if you like something or you become curious about something, just let me know, and I'll explain it a little bit more. But my style is I basically just go through, explain my thinking process on stuff. And if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to give me an ask, and I will do my best to not go off on a tangent for about 10 minutes like I'm doing right now. Okay, so again, here is the website for the IMDB data. They give you information about each file. All of these files, as you can, there's a link right here, the datasets IMDB. Oh, actually, no, there's not that. Now we're good. Okay, so here is the IMDB website that I just put in the chat. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be in the description here below. But basically, they give you a link to the data sets. Here they are. You can just download each one individually. These are tab delimited files, so they're just like CSVs, except the delimiter is a tab. So whatever you do to import them, whether it's to Power BI, SQL Server, Oracle, whatever, just make sure that you choose tab as the delimiter. Python's another popular one. Let's make sure you use tab. All right, so here's information about each file: the titles file, the basics file, the title crew file, the episode, and the principals file. Because it gives us information about it, we're gonna pretend that this is all the documentation we have. We just started working at IMDB, and our boss, as our first project, or maybe you're interviewing at IMDB, they give you this and they say, hey, we need an ERD. That might be what you get. And so here is a way for you to just develop this ERD. We're going to talk about the thinking process behind it. We're going to make it happen. So my favorite tool to use for ERDs is called LucidChart. Let me drop a link here. Oh, this keyboard does feel really nice. Again, if you work in an office environment, highly recommend this one because it is not very loud. It is pretty quiet, and the keys just feel nice. They're not difficult to press. They don't have a lot of bounce, but they're kind of springy. Anyway, done talking about this keyboard. All right, so here in LucidChart, I'm just gonna start a new project, and you can see the last time we did this, we basically asked ChatGPT, hey, please design 10 SQL queries that will give me an idea of how the database is laid out, what sort of tables there are, what links there are between them, using where clauses, using joins, that sort of thing. And I'm going to draw an ERD. I asked it to not give me any clues about what the data structure was or the data types or anything like that. just using queries. Give me the queries and I'll make the ERD, and this was the result. So we're going to try it again. But instead of that, what we're going to use is the documentation on the IMDB website. So let's give it a shot. What we're going to do is create a brand new document. We're going to wait for that to load. And we're first, I mean, you can choose a template. So like this right here, database ER diagram or entity relationship diagram with crow's foot. Yeah, let's go ahead and use that. That's fine. Okay, so now we have a template and we can keep going here. I'm gonna go ahead and just zoom in a little bit more so that it's easier to see. But we have entities, we have connections, we have like a one-to-many relationship here, or sorry, many to one, left to right. We have a one-to-one, that sort of thing. And apparently you can customize these shapes. It comes with a guide, existing table, and proposed table. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, the templates that you get. You don't have to start from scratch here. LucidChart is also free to a certain extent. I think you could do like 40 items on a particular canvas for free. So I don't like to give tools that you have to pay for here on this channel. And so most, if not all, the tools that I at least demo for you are going to be 100% free, or 90% free, let's say. All right, so again, here is the Brent Ozar link that takes us to the querying movie data. Takes us to this page where we can download it, and here's the documentation. So the first thing I'm going to do is just identify all the different tables. So we can think of each one of these files as a table, because when you export them, that's exactly what you get, is just a CSV or a TSV. So first things we're going to do is title.akas. That's going to be our first item. So we're just going to steal from this template here. We're just going to grab it like this, copy it. Oh, I'm on a Mac, so I need to do this copy and this paste. There we go. All right, so we're going to do its titles. Man, I already forgot what it was. Titles.akas. Then we have title.basics. That's without an S. So title.basics is the next one. Let's copy this and just do a title.basics. All right, what else do we have? We have title.crew. Title.crew is our next table. All right, what else? AKAs, basics, crew, episode. Episode is our next one. Is it episode or episodes? Episode. Okay, and then principles. So we have principles. PRFY says LucidChart has saved me many times. Is robust for freemium software, lots of functions. Absolutely. Yeah, I use it for pretty much all my diagrams here on this channel, and I use it for work as well. I have a paid account. I'll be honest, I have a paid account, but you don't have to. Nobody has to, really. It's just helped me out quite a bit. I've had it, I want to say, since like 2017, something like that. 2016, 2017. All right, so let's see. Ratings, principles and ratings. I think ratings might be our last file. Let's see. All right, episode, principle, ratings. Oh, name basics, name.basics. All right, that's an interesting one, because that one is not in the title schema or in the title category. It's just a name. So we will make sure that we identify that properly, right? Name.basics. And what we can do is we can choose a color to basically separate between title tables and name tables. So name basics, we will just give the shaded header a color of like green, like this. and we can ignore that, right? We can ignore this, or just change it to say title tables, and this would be name tables. And now we have updated our legend as well. So now we have this. Forgive me if I don't get the color right. I can already see that it's probably different. Forgive me if I don't get the color right. I am not, I have an issue. I think I'll get it right now. I have an issue with colors. I'm color deficient, so I'm not able to see different shades of color, but blue and green, I'm pretty sure, are pretty basic and pretty well understood. All right, so let me make sure. We have 1 file, 2 files, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 files altogether. And we have 7 files here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to fill it in with the columns that we have in each file. So let's start with AKAs. We have title ID, and we can just copy these so that it's easier for us. We have title ID. We have ordering. Actually, I don't like that it's so like huge like that. Title ID. There we go. Ordering. And let me go ahead and give this diagram a name. IMDB ERD, and we'll say English, because maybe I'll do this stream in Spanish as well. All right. So let me put these sort of closer together so they're easier to go back and forth from. All right, we have the title, we have the region and language. So we have title, region. Let's add one to this, or let's add a couple. There we go. We have language. And what else? Types, attributes, and is original title. Types, attributes, is original title. For me, in my ERDs, I like to use Pascal case or camel case, depending on what mood I'm in. Pascal is that every first letter of every word is capitalized, otherwise known as proper case, and then camel case is the first letter of the first word, lowercase. Everything else is uppercase, or every new word is uppercase. I'm a fan of Pascal or proper. Not such a huge fan of camel, but because that's how they have it here, I will be respectful. They have camel case here, so I'll be respectful of that. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here is that there are 2 that are arrays, and those are collections. So this is going to be very interesting because these are going to be sort of comma separated values inside a value, and that's going to be an interesting one. And it's going to be up to you here whether you want that to be its own table that connects to the primary table of title AKAs, or if you just want to have it say, hey, here's a value. But let's go ahead and fill in the data types as well. So here, because I'm working on I'm going to pretend that I'm working on a SQL Server database here. Sometimes I prefer Oracle, because Oracle MySQL is really fantastic. Or sorry, not Oracle MySQL, Oracle Live SQL is a fantastic tool. If you haven't used it, highly recommend it. livesql.oracle.com is the website. There it is for anyone who, I don't know why it gave that additional data there. But basically, Live SQL is a free and online version of Oracle Cloud. I think they're up to AI 23 right now, but it's a full-fledged database. No payment needed. I've had it for about seven years now. I've been using it, and it runs right on your browser. So if you have a Mac, that's one of the common questions is, I have a Mac, how do I practice SQL? If you have a Mac, oh no, sorry, it's 19C. Oracle 19C is what this is running. If you have a Mac and you have Safari, which all Macs come with Safari, you can use this. You can use Live SQL on livesql.oracle.com, and it's 100% free. It's great with practice, and it comes with data pre-populated already too. Okay, so I'm going to choose data types. So not just like string, integer, string. I'm going to choose actual SQL Server data types here. So I'll choose something like varchar. I'm going to have to choose varchar 4000 for, or 8000 for this, because technically I don't know how big the titles are. At least for the staging table, I'm going to have to choose that, unfortunately. Because again, I don't know how large these tables are, or these data types are. Hopefully a title is not more than 8,000 characters. It doesn't seem logical. So technically, if you want, you can like reduce this to like 500. You know, part of it is like how can we be efficient? Because an 8,000 character string is going to take up an entire SQL Server page or Oracle block. I think Oracle blocks do 8,000 as well. So that's very important to just kind of keep that in mind. But let's move on. Let's just keep it simple. Integer. Maybe we just don't give it precision here. We'll just do the basic data types so that there's not much confusion. Okay, this is a string, so we'll do a varchar. Region is a varchar. So basically string, string, array, array, boolean. String, string, array, array, boolean. So varchar, varchar, types and attributes. Is this the array, types, attributes, and then boolean? Yeah, seems to be. Oh, this one's an extra one. I'm like, why do we have so many more? All right, this is, I'm gonna say this is a varchar, but a list slash array. We'll say that just to kind of give a heads up here. Varchar and then list slash array. And this is a boolean. So in SQL Server land, that's going to be a bit. So we'll use bit. All right. Now, title basics. Let's move on to title basics. Here we go. All right. So we have tconst, which is an alphanumeric unique identifier of the title. Very interesting. Okay, tconst, and that's going to be alphanumeric. So again, varchar. Is that what they said as well? Yeah, just a string. It might be a GUID. Title type. That's going to be a varchar as well. Fairly certain. Yeah. Okay, everything's a string basically. So primary title and original title. Primary title, original title. Both of these are varchar. And let's add some more columns here. There we go. We have is adult, which is a boolean. Is adult, that's a bit. Start year, end year, runtime minutes. Ooh, you know what we can do? Let's be a bit more efficient here so we don't have to keep switching back and forth, right? We're just going to add a text box here. And we're going to paste this data. There we go. That helps us out a little bit so we don't have to keep going back and forth. All right, is adult is the next one. That's a bit. And let's see. What's next? Start year. That's just an integer. Technically, it can be a small int or a reduced int, whatever it is. Tiny int, I think, goes to 99 or 999. So small int would definitely cover this because years will all be dead. By the time years go past integers, we'll all be dead. So it's an optimistic, morbid thought there, isn't it? Let's do series. No, start year. That's start year, end year, int. Runtime minutes. That's probably primary runtime in minutes. I would say that's an integer as well, right? Probably a small int if you want to get technical on that, or tiny int even. Genres, that is a string as well, and it's a list slash array. And now we get to expand this guy. There we are. Okay, fantastic. So now we can technically delete that, or we can just keep it down here, right? Let's just keep it down here. Let's do the same thing with the one above, just so we can have references here. I'm gonna copy this and bring it back over here as a new text box. Paste. And we'll expand. There we go. Title AKAs, title basics. Let's do title crew. Title crew is a tiny one, so we're good there. It's going to be pretty quick. Paste. Nope. There we go. Okay. Oh, we can just paste it. That's pretty cool. Oh, but there's like a link there and all that stuff. I don't want that. How do I delete? There we go. That's the fun of a new keyboard, is that you have to get used to the placement of all the buttons all over again. So having new keyboards is pretty fun, but it's also very frustrating. All right, so title crew is the one that we're working on right now. So let's dive in. Oh, that was a bit too far. Still getting used to this mouse as well, considering I just opened it today. All right, tconst, that is a varchar. And directors, that is a varchar, but it's in a list/array as well, so gotta watch out for that. And writers is also a list/array. Varchar list/array. There we are. Okay, what does it say about those? Directors of the given title and writers of the given title. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Here, what I want you to do what I would do is basically keep in mind what sort of functions you're going to use to break these lists apart. You can go to Python and do like for each. In SQL Server, you can do like a cross apply. There's new functionality in SQL Server as well. Or I say new, but I think it was introduced in like 2016 or something. I can't remember what it's called, the function. Something string split. That's what it is, string split. Let's go to string split really quick. T-SQL string split. String split allows you to enter a value and it'll give you back sort of a mini table of all of the separators or all of the values. So here I can string split this and I can choose the delimiter. For example, this delimiter is the space, and it'll give me the values as sort of a mini table. So that's pretty cool. You can use string split there. String ag is the one that compresses it back. So if you want to export this data, you can string ag it and then export it and then string split it back again. Not sure why, but hey, why not? All right, let's get back to work. We have title crew. Did we already do that one? We sure did. All right, title episode. Let's do that instead. Copy that. And we will put it down here. Or actually, I have to use it first, right? So let's put it up here first and then we can put it back. There we go. All right, title episode. We can move it right here and we'll start with this one, tconst. All right, so we can tell right off the bat that tconst is going to be our constant sort of link between all of the tables. So that's important to know. All right, so let's do a varchar here. And we can technically do like a foreign key or key indicator here as well, right? Tconst and parent, tconst. Ooh, that's an interesting one as well, right? Varchar. So that's gonna link back to itself, basically. This table links back to itself, sort of like the employee and manager relationship. That's what we want to keep in mind when we're talking about those two fields specifically. All right, season number. That's just an integer. Yep. And episode number. That's also an integer. All right, cool. We have our title episode. Let's move that down out of the way. And let's grab our next one, principles. Title principles. And paste that so we don't have to go back and forth. There we go. And then let's move this guy up. Maybe not too much because it looks like we're going to need some room. All right, so title principles, we have tconst Again, that's a varchar. We have ordering. That's an interesting one. That's an integer, a number to uniquely identify rows for a given title ID. Interesting. Okay. Nconst. That is a varchar as well. It's a string. Alphanumeric unique identifier for the name and person. I have a feeling that one's going to link us down to this table here, the name basics, but we'll see how that goes. All right, category. That's a varchar. Pretty much everything in this table seems to be a varchar, so at least it's easy. Did I say easy? I meant simple. Simple. Job. Characters. I am known everywhere I go or everywhere I work for saying that things are it'll be simple, and then it takes like 3 months. That's a little about me. All right, the job varchar, there we go. All right, now we have our ratings. Let's go to our ratings. Let's move this down here. We're gonna grab our ratings. Should I just grab the other one too, just to have it here already? Probably, right? All right, let's try it. We have our ratings, and then we'll do one more text box over here for our names, right? Yep, name basics. Copy that. Paste it here, and we've got it. Look at that. All right, name basics. And we need our ratings, I think. Yep, ratings. Okay, so tconst is our varchar, and again, that seems to be our key for everything. Average rating num votes, and number of votes, that's going to be an integer. That's pretty simple. Average rating, that's not going to be an integer, right? That is going to be a decimal. We need to make sure that we properly identify these, because what we just built, folks, what we just built, let's just go ahead and put decimal here. And here, I'll go ahead and even say this should be like 18 digits total, 4 after the decimal place, or something like that. You can put the scale and precision as you would like to, but let's just keep in mind, we'll stop right here for a second, and just keep in mind that what we are building right now as analysts, you can say analyst, I'm looking at this from a viewpoint of someone who has been a data architect for many years, a database administrator, a data analyst, a reporting analyst, and the BI analyst, ETL administrator, all those roles I've played. And what I need to make sure is that I keep all of those roles in mind. I need to be able to build this out so that everyone can use it and utilize it correctly and get what we need. I need to have all those things in mind. I need to write this from the perspective of the analyst who's going to be querying it, the ETL administrator who's going to be populating it with data, the database architect who's going to be building out the tables, and the database administrator. Technically, I'm the architect in this situation, so that's what I'm building out. So we are like real architects in which we are drawing up plans. We give it to the construction crew, right? And the construction crew comes in, builds it, the electricians, the plumbers, everyone has a part, but they work off of this one blueprint. And so you need to make sure that when you build these diagrams out, you're thinking of all that stuff, because it is important for them to know. It's very important. All right, so enough about architecture and stuff. Let's get back to architecture. I'm going to move this down here, and I'm going to bring up name basics. Name basics is our next one, right? All right, so we have nconst. That's the nconst one, right? Tconst and nconst. What is tconst? Title constant, probably. Nconst is name constant. Nconst. This is a varchar. We have a primary name, which is also a varchar. Birth year. That's an integer. Death year. Interesting. That's an integer as well. Oh, I don't want that. What happened here? Oh no, I do want more fields. What's wrong with that? Okay, death year, primary profession, and known Oh, primary profession. What happened there? Oh, it's a varchar. Known for titles. That's going to be an array of tconsts. So this is going to be an int, but an array. No, it's going to be a varchar. Varchar array, no, list / array. So it's going to be an array of titles, basically. This is an array of titles. All right, so let's slap a couple post-it notes with our sort of notes, right? All architects, I'm sure, I don't know. I've never worked with architects, but I've always found the, I've worked with data architects and have been one, but like real architects, I'm saying that condescendingly, aren't I? Data architects are real architects, I'm sure, but I mean like construction architects. I'm babbling again, aren't I? All right, so I've worked with architects, data architects, where they need a lot of the information about the connections, and they need just context of like, what am I building? I work with a data engineer right now who requires a lot of specific detail, because if I don't give her that specific detail, she has to sort of make assumptions, which she does not like doing. She likes being very precise in her work. So it is my responsibility to make sure that I am as precise as possible when I am drawing up these blueprints, just like an architect would be like, hey, the toilet goes here. You definitely, like the shower goes there. You definitely want to get that right. You want to be explicit about where things go and what type of things to use, so that there's no confusion. Because if there is confusion, it's going to be you that is to blame. Your plans didn't say it, so they assumed. All right, so we are good to go here. Now let's start making up some connections. But before that, let's do some notes, right? So we're going to say nconst equals name constant. And that is, wow. I think I can do like next line here. Yeah, there we go. Name foreign name keys. So this is artist name keys. I guess that works. But this looks kind of blah, right? Maybe just a text field would be better, or a text box would be better, because this is too post-it notey. And I think I can expand this out. Yeah, there we go. And then tconst is the same thing, but for titles. And I hit bold on this for some reason. All right, tconst equals title constant. And title name, no, just title keys. And this is just artist keys. For relationships between tables. That's a better way to explain that. Title keys for relationships between tables. All right, we're good to go there. Now, what we're gonna do is start connecting the tables up. So we have the title AKAs and title basics. I would venture to say that the title basics is the sort of primary table. And everything else sort of spawns out from there. You can maybe say that title AKAs. No. Title AKAs is definitely a dimension of title basics, because there seems to be one entry in title AKAs for each, also known as. So for those of you who don't know, in movie land, titles will have very different titles in other languages, not just like being translated to the actual language, but also just a completely different title. And that's a pretty common thing, and so that this AKAs seems to facilitate that. So that's the important part here. I promise I'm not trying to like mansplain movies. It's just really important that we understand that before we before we dive in too much here. All right, so I'm going to leave title basics here as sort of the central database, or sorry, the central table. And let's start connecting it up. So we can connect each title has a crew record, at least one crew record. So this is going to be a one title to many crew. No, it seems to be directors and writers in list arrays. So I think this might be a one-to-one. We can, if you're not sure, okay, let's stop again. If you're not sure what the exact relationship is, it's best to sort of leave it blank and just have the line. So if I go up here, I can switch this to none, and I can switch this to none as well. And just say, you know, put a post-it note here saying relationship not confirmed, or cardinality, because that's actually what we're talking about here, is cardinality not confirmed. And you can point it at this and sort of have like a, hey, we're not really sure. Okay. All right, between title basics and title AKAs, I know for sure that this is going to be a one title to many AKAs. So here's a one to many here. It's actually going to be one or many, right? So it can have one AKA or many AKAs, and the one or many is this one right here. It has one stick, and it also has a broomstick. I like to call these broomsticks. I don't know what the official name is. Crow's feet is the official name. Not like that's any better than broomsticks, right? Just someone, oh, it looks like a crow's foot. So it's like literally called crow's foot notation now. Okay. So let's do principles. From basics to principles, it looks like. And then this is going to be, the characters is not that's weird that the characters is not an array. The characters is the name of the character played if applicable. So these principles is unique identifier of the title. Okay, that's coming from the title table. Ordering is a number to uniquely identify rows of a given title ID. So there's definitely many principles to a particular title. BownerSoup is great to see you. BownerSoup says, do you know the AKA's table use title ID when the others use tconst? That's an interesting one for sure. Apparently this is a tconst. That's, you might want to like write IMDB about that. You could definitely, hey, IMDB, it's BownerSoup again. You messed up on this one. I would highly recommend you write them about it. First, what you want to do is you want to download the data, make sure that your analysis is correct there, and then let them know, like, hey, you might want to call this something else. Maybe it was like an implied way of referring back to it. That's a good one. I really like that. I think we're gonna have to take a look at the data now, right, to just see what that is. Let me write a little post-it note there, just to like say confirm title ID is correct. Should it, that's not how you spell should it be changed to tconst? That is super weird. That's super weird. Not only am I going to link it to this, but I'm also going to link it to the title is it title AKAs? Yeah. Copy this and put it up here, and just do a little line here. That's a good note. It's a good note to have for sure. I like that one. Thanks, BownerSoup. Nice. You get 500 internet points today. I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay, let's go to title episode. That's also title const, and we need some sort of like organization for this, right? Because things are going to start to get a little bit messy. So let's zoom out a tiny bit and just see where we've landed. Okay. So again, title basics is the central, it's like the master, no, like the living room, family room, living room of the house. Everything else kind of branches out from there. What I like to do as well is I like to branch things out towards the right. Is this the right? I think the right. I like to branch things out towards the right because it gives me the impression of the layers, how many layers deep something goes. So at my main table, I like to start it on the left, and then everything sort of branches out towards the right. Other people like to do like a star, literal star schema, right? That's where it got its name, is that one central table and everything just expands to each side. I like to do, I guess you would call it more of a snowflake, which is there are multiple layers to things. It's not just one central thing and a star. It could be multiple layers. So I like to use more of a snowflake method for it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put things here off to the side, off to the right. Title episode, title AKAs, I'm also going to put to the right. So let me just go ahead and delete this link and take both of these and push them out. And then name basics. Name basics, see, name basics has nothing to do with the title. There's no link to it, right? It's basically on a principal right here, this name constants. It is only a dimension to principles. So what am I going to do? I'm going to leave it one level out from principles. And title AKAs, definitely want to put that as like one of the primary tables. Off to the right here. I think it's time to go ahead and delete these sample ones, right? I think we got what we needed from them. Thank you for what is it Marie Kondo says? Thank it for its joy or something like that, and then get rid of it. I don't want to hoard these. I can always get it back whenever I need to. Let's bring this down as well. And now we have our room for title AKAs. I'm gonna do my best to like align these all too. All right, okay. So now we have our title episode. Let's align that too. Let's align our principles, and we'll align our ratings. Oh, it's such a precise art. There we go. Okay, let's zoom back in and see where we need to do our connections, right? All right, so here, I'm gonna move this arrow down a little bit here just because I don't want it to interfere. So from the tconst, I'm gonna go to, I'm thinking it's title ID, but BownerSoup brought up, again, a great point. One title, so as an aside, one title can have many AKAs. So I'm gonna do a one to many here to the AKAs. But again, it's very possible for AKAs, for the title ID to not be the same data point or data attribute as tconst. I would imagine it has to, but it's my job to confirm that, right? Before I give it out to the engineers and to the analysts and everything. All right, so title episode, tconst again is going to have one title, can have many episodes. So again, this is going to be a one to one or many. It can have many episodes, but that doesn't mean it always does. Same thing for the AKAs. It can have many, but it doesn't mean it always does. So we're going to make sure we use a one or many, which is the vertical line and the crow's feet. All right, we're going to right click here really quick, change the document settings, go to lines and add line jumps. This is something that I picked up in my engineering days. When I went to school for computer engineering, we did circuit analysis a lot, and I really like the feature that has line jumps here, because when we were creating circuits and circuit diagrams, it was always really important to know that, you know, when the connection and how it held. Sometimes I would use like dotted lines to like write over it just to make sure I interfered, but line jumps is a good one as well. I think the official way is to do line jumps. All right, principles. Principles are just actors, it seems, right? Okay, I just messed something up there. Okay, what we want to do is get that and a movie can have one or many principals as well. And it can also have one or many ratings records. Maybe. Maybe. It doesn't seem like it does. Title, ratings, number of votes, and weighted average. If this is just a weighted average, that doesn't mean that this ratings table is like one record for each rating that the movie got. This just means like, or should mean, an overall rating for this title. So I would wager to say that this is a 1-to-1, maybe a 1-to-0 or 1. That's about as flexible as I want to be right now. So let's do 1 to, I think you can represent 0 or 1 here. 0 or many. Let's see, is 0 or 1 not here? 0 or 1. 1 to 0 or 1 right there. All right. And now from principles to name basics, we're going to use this nconst is going to be our link. Oop, I just moved it. Nconst goes to nconst. So this principle, this is an interesting one. I wonder if, like, okay, for each title we have its principles here. That's for each title and each principle we have a record here. However, I'm wondering if like the same actor just has one record in the basics table and many principles, which are just, the principle is just an actor being in a movie or a person being in a movie. But I'm wondering if there's only one person record for each person. Knowing IMDb is a pretty large organization, so I think that's the way they would do it. I don't want to assume, so we're just going to add a post-it note here and just say, or maybe just a text box, and just say, confirm if name.basics is one record per person or one record per person per principal. Right? Because this is what we want to link. This is what we want to just confirm. Confirm if name.basics is one record per person or one record per person per principal. For example, let's pick an actor, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Let's say he has been in many movies, as we know, right? So he has one record in title.principles for each movie that he has been in. But he is just one person, unless he like may have changed his name to a different like SAG, Screen Actors Guild name. Then maybe he would have two records here. That would be the only time I would see that, I guess, or I would think that's possible. But this is an interesting one nonetheless. So I want to just confirm that that's a to-do item. We have several to-do items here, but somehow I think we're done, or at least done drawing the map, right? This cardinality not confirmed. I have to put it like right here, but basically this is it. We have one title basics table. That's like a central table for all the movies. Technically speaking, you could do without all the rest of the tables here. If all you had was title.basics and maybe title.akas, you'd be set. You'd be pretty set. But this is a map to create the structure for everything else. So why would we do this? Why would we create this ERD? Let's go back to that for a second. Again, as a data architect, even as a data analyst, if unfortunately you get stuck with the job, even though it shouldn't be within your scope to have to do this, but if you're trying to practice or you're aspiring to be like a data architect, data engineer, that sort of thing. Basically, the premise here is, hey, you're brand new. You just landed at this organization, and this data exists. All you have is this document right here. Man, now I lost it. All you have is this document right here. That's all you've got. And with this document, you need to draw a map, not just for yourself to get around, because no one's going to do that for you. It's just like, hey, you want that documentation? Here it is. That's it. We all use it. This is a selfish way for you to become more familiar, but it's also a way for you to contribute immediately. Notice that I have not yet looked at the code because I don't have access to IMDb's code, obviously. I have not even looked at the data yet, or barely looked at the data. I downloaded the files and opened them just to make sure I could open them, but that's it. I haven't looked at the data at all. I've just looked at this documentation. And so with this documentation that they have provided, we have been able to create basically a map, not just for you, not just for yourself, but to show, hey, here is my contribution to this organization immediately. Here's how I contributed immediately back to you guys. You can have this. Someone will put it on a wall somewhere and then put another piece of paper on a wall somewhere on top of it, so it'll get forgotten for eternity. But then just realize that now it falls on you to keep it updated whenever you see changes and all that good stuff, right? So that's important to know. But it's also serves a different purpose. It also could serve the purpose of, you are a data architect and your boss comes to you and says, hey, we are now going to ingest data from IMDb. Here is the website. Here is their documentation. It's up to you to plan it and make sure everyone has what they need to be able to fulfill this project, right? To be able to get this data. Your superiors probably don't care too much about what you do to design, what you do to make it happen, so long as the end result is you now have IMDb data in a database or a data warehouse somewhere, and they can report on it, for example, or they can use it for other items. And so it is your job as a data architect. So now we're shifting over to data architect roles, data engineering roles, I would say senior data engineer, to design this structure. And maybe you want to tack your own columns onto this, right? This is the basic layout of theirs, but let's say this is I'll call this factory layout. I'll call this page factory layout, and I'm just going to duplicate it. All right, so now we have a duplicate, and we'll say SQL Dev layout. We're working at SQL Dev Enterprises, and it's our job to do this. And so what we want to do is add fields that allow us to track the data. Fields like ID or record ID, right? These are going to be proprietary fields. So big int identity. So this is going to be an identity. I like to add 3 fields every single time. 3 fields every single time. The first field is a record ID of some sort for each table, for each record. The second field is import date, and the third field is update date. Those are fields that I love adding to each and every table. I've started exploring a batch ID for some processes now, but it's not a permanent staple. But if I wanted to do that, then I would have to add it to each table. And some folks would like to add it to the top, some would add it to the bottom, or to the beginning and to the end. So we have import date and update date. This would be a date time, and so would this date time. So if I added that, I think I can move these up. I think I can move this up and this one up. So all my tables would be designed, like all the tables on my side would be designed with record ID, import date, update date, and then all the other records that they have. The record ID is what we call a surrogate key, right? It has nothing to do with the data. It is just a key. That's it, a unique identifier for that table. And so I would add it to each one of those. I would add it to each one of these tables. And then I would use that as sort of my own keys that pay no regard to the keys that are coming into the data. So that's another thing you can do. Why do I add these record IDs? They have saved me many times in the past. One of the ways that they've saved me is if I, by mistake, import data twice, I'll at least have a record ID that shows the true uniqueness of a record. And I can say, hey, does this one tconst have more than one record ID? If so, then I only want the latest one, delete the first one, and I can do that en masse. So that's one of the ways that it saved me. The import date and update date. Import date and update date are obviously to help you know when the last time something was imported, but I also use them as part of the ETL process. I will basically say, hey, I'm going to take a timestamp at the beginning of me importing this table. I'm going to take a timestamp, and I'm going to mark whatever I have either imported or updated after that timestamp. I'm going to mark it as number of records imported, number of records updated by themselves. And it also helps me just report on my ETL processes and say, okay, well, how long did my import take? When was the last time a record was updated? Is this a table that I don't need to update frequently? That sort of thing. So it does really help you out to have those 3 columns: record ID, import date, and update date. They help you out in the ETL process quite a bit. I'm sure you can think of many others, including, again, that batch ID. The batch ID is pretty cool because you'd be able to give a batch ID, like batch ID 2, to every single table for a particular run. So you know which batch ID was the one that updated a record, or you know which records have it. For example, if you want to keep a historical version of this database, then you would be able to, right? You just say, hey, batch ID 1, import everything. Batch ID 2 takes over, you import everything, and then you switch all your reports to use batch ID 2, or the latest batch. And you still have prior versions of all of your records if you really want them, so that you can see the changes. So that's pretty cool too. All right, so we have our SQL Dev layout. I can add, record ID, import date, update date to this stuff. I think it's time to go answer some questions. So confirm if the name and basics is 1 record per person. The one I'm most curious about right now is what BownerSoup brought up, which is, where is it? This title basics or name basics? Right here. Confirm if the title ID is correct. Should it be changed to tconst? Because everything else is. So let's investigate that. To do that, we're going to have to hop over to my PC. So let's see if I can do that really quick. All right. And through magic, here we are, all the way about 2 centimeters over to my PC. What a ride that was. Okay, so let's take a look. Basically what I've done here is I've downloaded the files. So all you have to do to download these files, they're just like zip files. You download them, and then you use an application, let's say like 7-zip, to go ahead and extract those. So you can extract those. You basically go, I think I haven't done crew yet, so I can right click on crew and extract files, hit OK, and now we have the file. As you can see, we have a cruise file now. Right here, there's one, and then here's the non-zipped one. I'm gonna cut this and put it into my IMDB imports area, which is where I am taking the final TSV files before I import. I usually have like a staging area where I have all of my files sort of in their final resting place before they get imported. That way I can just kind of hand that folder off to the data engineer and say, import these files, please. I'll see you later. I'm gonna go get pizza. All right, so the ones we have done so far are principles, basics, episodes, crew. We need AKAs, so let's do AKAs. 7-zip, extract files, okay. Some of these are quite large, I must warn you. I think you need at least like 10 gigs of space to be able to open these. So if you're limited, just know title basics is probably the only one you want to do. If like you have to choose just one, title basics is probably the one that you want to choose. We're gonna cut this and put it right here. So title basics is already, title principles is 3.8 gigs. Title basics, oh, I haven't done title basics yet. Oh wow, that's going to be a big one then. Title basics, let's do that and see how large it is. Extract files, hit OK. The good news is though, is that once you do download it, you should be able to delete the original zip file. So at least you get that space back. Where's title basics? There it is. Cut that. Oh, title basics is less than a gig. So you will be happy with that one if that's all you choose. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have one left. Which one is it? Ratings? Yep, it's ratings. Let's do it. 7-zip, extract files, and hit OK. All right, so now let's go to ratings. Ooh, there it is. We're gonna cut that. We're gonna put it in our IMDB imports and paste it. And I think that's it. Let me go ahead and just delete these because now all their files are in my imports folder. So I don't need that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zip files. I'll keep those intact because I want to make sure I preserve them and save them. And then we have our IMDB imports file. And here we go. We have our principles file. Again, our principles are all of the different actors that are here. That's going to be the biggest one because one film can have a bunch of actors in it, right? Then we have our AKAs, which are just AKAs for each movie title. We have our basics. That's the core file. I would say that's the core file, title basics. So if you can only have one file, make sure it's title basics. Then we have the name basics. Those are tied to the principles. Then we have the title crew. The title crew is also tied to the title basics, title episode tied to title basics, and title ratings also tied to title basics. So you can see title basics is a gig. There's name basics, which is almost a gig. This one's almost half a gig. So it's gonna be quite hefty. You're gonna need 8.3 gigabytes of space if you want these all. And now you're at a crossroads. Now you can say, hey, I want to explore these files via pandas. I want in Python. I want to explore these files in SQL Server. I want to explore these files in Oracle, wherever you want, right? Even directly in Power BI. I don't suggest it, but if that's all you got, that's cool too. You can explore it. Just know your computer's RAM is going to really struggle here. So you need to have at least 16 to 32 gigs of RAM on your PC if you want to explore all of these files. If you just want to explore title basics, Power BI can handle that one for sure. But just know that if you want to build this whole data model, you're going to need a lot of power. So we're going to go ahead and just use SQL Server instead. Let's see if we can just get it to work. Let's open up SQL Server Management Studio. Normally, as a data engineer, if I put that hat on, I would use PowerShell. PowerShell has a suite of tools or a module called DBA Tools. I'm going to leave the link here. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be below, but for you folks inside of the Twitch streams, I'm going to leave that link. It's dbatools.io, and basically it is a module for SQL Server that allows you to do things just lightning quick. Everything you can think of, you can do it extremely quickly. Like you want to set up 10 SQL servers, it's like one line of code. You want to back up all databases and restore them on 5 servers, it's like a line of code. It's so amazing. And one of the things it does is import. It also does exporting, but it imports data from any number of files into any SQL server or SQL servers. And it does it super quick. It's mind-bogglingly quick. All right, so we're gonna go into our SQL Server here, and let's create a new database just for IMDB. We're gonna create it, and it's gonna be called IMDB DB. We could just call it IMDB Data. I'm gonna say this one's in English because I plan on doing this in Spanish later. All right, and the owner of this, I always give my databases to SA. SA can't win the lottery. SA can't get hit by a bus. And so SA ends up being the perpetual owner of everything. You can see here that I'm putting my databases in the C drive. Don't do that. This is a development machine, and so the entire system is a dev machine. But if you're in prod, please do not put databases on your C drive. Have a different data drive for your databases. The only thing I'm going to change here in the options is I'm going to change the recovery model to simple. Why am I going to do that? Because this database does not change enough to be, I don't need my recovery time objective or my recovery point objective. Actually, it's a point objective to be like every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes or something like that. If this gets blown away, I'm okay with using last night's backup or even a backup from a week ago, whatever. And switching into recovery model makes it so that when the transactions are done, like all the inserts, those are written to the transaction log, but then the transaction log is cleared or can be cleared at any time, and it never has to get backed up or anything. It just clears itself at every checkpoint. So I'm done with this. I can also enable other stuff like RCSI. Eric Darling actually just released a video on snapshot isolation is not what you think it is, or something like that, and I'm really curious to watch that. Hopefully it comes out on, I think it was for the past conference that he just did it. I'm curious if everything I knew about, I think that's literally his headlines, is like everything you know about isolation levels is wrong. So I'm very curious about that. So I won't change the RCSI or isolation level or anything like that. I'm babbling a lot. Let's just create the database. Now we have the data. It's in IMDB English, or we have the database created. I'm going to right click and refresh here, and we can see that we have a database now called IMDB Data English. To import these files, I'm going to right click, and I'm just going to say task and import data. I know this is kind of dark mode, so it's very difficult to see, but trust me, that said import data. To import the files, I'm going to choose a flat file source. Should we take a look at the files first? You want to take a look at the files maybe? Let's open up a file and see what it looks like. So title basics. I'm going to open it with Notepad++ because that's the default one, but if you need to, I would recommend downloading Notepad++. It is free, and opening it with Notepad++. Depending on how big the file is, it's going to take a while to open. This machine has 64 gigs of RAM, so it's not it's doing pretty well. But if you don't have a lot of RAM, just know that the bigger the file, the longer it's going to take to open, the longer it's going to take to open in Power BI, in SQL Server, all that good stuff. All right, so we have tconst right here, which is our title constant. Then we have our title type. We have our primary title, original title. Is it adult? It'll be a 0 for no, a 1 for yes. We have the start year, the end year. Ooh, /n. That's an interesting one. Probably like NA. I want to say NA. Why does it have an end year? I presume that it's because this also contains TV series. And so a start year is when the TV show started. The end year is when the TV show ended. Runtime minutes is 1 for this first movie ever, apparently. That's pretty cool. And the genre is documentary. And then here we have, no, runtime minutes. Oh, documentary and short. These are both values here. And as you can see, this array, documentary and short, is the genres that we said it was going to be a list array. It is important to know that this is a TSV, Tango Sierra Victor, TSV file, not a CSV, a TSV. The delimiter is a tab, and that is all you need to know. If you see this comma, it does not mean it's a new record. So you have to tell every application you open this file with, you need to tell it that. You need to tell it. You need to tell Power BI it's tab delimited. You need to tell SQL Server. You need to tell Python, if you're opening this in Python, that it is tab delimited. It is not comma delimited. That's my last warning about that. That's probably not. We're about to import it, so I'll probably warn you again before we do it. You'll see. All right. I thought I had the wizard open here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the import file wizard. I chose a flat file. And let's go ahead and choose the file names. IMDB imports. And you see there's no files here, but there actually are. I need to switch it to all files, and I'm going to import title basics first. Should I go that high? No, let's go to title ratings first. That's a simpler one. We can take any issues that we find, we can do them there, right? Okay, so we're going to hit open. And now we need the text qualifier. Let's go ahead and switch it to quote, because I think that's what it was anyway. But we can take a look and just make sure. Do we see any quotes here? Can I control F for quote? Yep, 100%. It's quote right here. So, oh, actually that is a quote. That's a real quote. So there is no quote identifier. Let's go with none. So apparently the movie's title is actually with quotes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do, I'm not going to put a text qualifier here. What was it that it had before? Just nothing, right? Okay. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. The code page, we're going to leave it at 1252. You could switch it if you needed to, but I'm just going to leave it at 1252. Header row delimiter, that is correct. It's a CRLF, carriage return line feed. For those of you who are as old as I am, carriage return and line feed are literally a typewriter's carriage return, cha-ching type of thing. And the line feed is the crank that feeds a new line to the paper. Header rows to skip, that's 0. That's 0. But where is it that I'm telling it it's delimited? Oh, right here. It's a delimited file. And the row delimiter is LF. It automatically recognized that the column delimiter is a tab. That's great, right? That's wonderful news for us because it means we don't have to worry about switching it. But if for some reason it doesn't, you can switch it right here to a tab, or you can enter your own delimiter. I've seen people delimit with tildes. You can delimit with the tilde too. Any non-common character is good to delimit with. All right, so let's go ahead and import this thing. We have tconst, average rating, and num votes. Here in the advanced section is where we get to pick the data types. One of the reasons that DB8 tools is so quick is because it says everything is a varchar 8000 or varchar max, one of the two. And so it has the ability to do that. But because for the last hour or so, you and I just spent time, oh God, it's gonna really ask me about this stuff. Okay, you and I just spent the last hour creating an ERD complete with data types for this. So why not use that to our advantage and simply create them? We're working with ratings right now, which means first column is a varchar. Let's go ahead and remove this here. First column is a varchar. Second one is a decimal, 18.4, and the third one is an integer. So let's use that. Here, we have it right here. tconst, the first column is a varchar. I don't know how big those are, but they seem to be about 20 characters. It's my boss's money, right? It's my money. It's my money, my storage. I'm gonna do 100 just to be safe here. Average rating, we're gonna change that to a decimal. Where is it? DT numeric. I think it's no DT decimal. And num votes, we're going to change that to a where is it? An integer. DTI4, or it could be an I8, could be a big int if it had that many votes. Let's just do a big int just in case. I4 is just a plain integer. I8 would be like a bigger integer as well. So let's change this up to big int, and we'll do that instead. All right, let's see if that works. We're gonna preview and we'll see our data right here. You can see that tconst is really not that large, right? All right, let's hit next. Now our destination is going to be SQL Server. We're going to choose the OLED provider. And we're going to use, oh, I clicked that arrow. I shouldn't have clicked that arrow. That arrow takes like 3 years to load. It's not going to take that long, but if you have a lot of servers on your network, don't click that arrow. And I don't remember the username and password for this user that I can use. Let's see if I can remember it very quickly. Oh, actually I have it on my other computer, so let's look. Super. Okay. Let's see. I think I have it. Let's see if we can do that. What is it? 10.0.0.19, I think is my server here. I can't use this Windows authentication. I have to use this one. And let's see if I remember it or if I have the right one. I'm gonna give it a shot, and hey, we're in. I'm in, Chief. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? No? All right, maybe not. We'll name this title.ratings. Yeah, I mean, we can stick to that. I would like to name it like title_ratings. I don't like to use dots because dots are technically separators between schema or between objects, like database, schema, table. So I like to use like underscores if I have to, or I could just make it one solid name with, again, Pascal. So here's the preview of the data. We'll hit next, and it's giving me a review, a data type missing, or review the data type mapping. It looks to be okay. It looks like everything's okay. So we're gonna try it. Let's try to run it with the smallest table again, right? Ooh, it's going quick. Lots of records too. All right. Hey, wow, 1.4 million? Is that what that is? Yeah, 1.5 million records. That's a lot of records. All right, so let's take a look at those records, make sure they came in, and then we'll load the rest of them. Maybe we can load one with PowerShell. Nah, it's probably gonna make me look like an idiot if I try to load it with PowerShell. Did I load it to the wrong table? I bet you I loaded it to like master or something stupid. No. Now I have no idea where this table is. Super. Okay. Maybe it's in DBA tools. Title ratings is in DBA tools. So let's, if this ever happens to you where it loads it to your default database by mistake, all you really have to do is just select it into a table in the database that you want. So what you can do is, here's the data itself. I'm going to select this into, what do we name it? IMDB Data English .dbo.title ratings. And go. Oh, it's just 1,000. Okay, let me drop that table really quick. Oh, we get to use the drop table command. That's always a fun command, isn't it? Nothing scary about that table. Okay. So it doesn't exist, but I also just created it. So let's go check it out. Let's see what's going on here. Does it exist in this database? No, I guess I didn't actually create it. That was very strange, but okay. Thanks, SQL Server. All right, let's try to create it again. There we go. Now it's creating it. There's the 1.5 million records. They're all created. And when I refresh this, hey, we got the data. All right, so now I can drop this table and be okay. Perfect. All right, now this will go away. And now I can select from this table instead, and we're good to go. There's our data. Now let's import the rest of these. I got a little bit of time, so we can import the rest of these and see how it goes. Hopefully this doesn't turn into an hour-long adventure. Right click, tasks, and import data. And what file is next? We're going to choose flat file source. We're going to choose our next file. Go to all files. Let's go big. Let's go big or go home. Title principles. Let's get it out of the way, right? Text qualifier is none. We didn't need to change anything here. We do have to change the columns though. We have to make sure that the tab delimiter is correct. And then our advanced. So here we go. We have our columns here. And remember, we do have our diagram as well. So if we go to title, oh, it's title, is this title principles? Yeah, title principles is the one that we're doing right now. I think. Let's see if it matches. Ordering and const. Yeah, for sure it is this one. Okay, tconst. This was, again, this, we chose a 100 for this. So let's go ahead and update this this diagram to say it's a varchar 100. So anywhere that we see tconst, let's just say it was 100. Here's where we get to sort of be of service and update these diagrams for our team so that they don't have to. Ooh, we were supposed to check out AKAs, weren't we? We'll see. We'll see, chat. We'll see. We might get there one day. This is what I have to check. tconst is also going to be a varchar 100 here. That is yet to be decided, it seems. All right, we updated all to varchar 100. Let's do it. Ordering. Where are we? Principles. Yeah, principles. Ordering is going to be an integer, so we can go ahead and just do that. Switch it out here. Where is it? TTI4 and const. I'm willing to bet that's going to be another varchar 100. And const. For some reason that. Oh, I was trying to change the data type, but I changed that instead. Oh, output column width is 50. This is going to be a string, and I'll give it 100 as well. If it fails, then we know. Category, I don't know. We're going to do a 300 because this is, no, you know what? We're going to do 1,000 because this is, it could be any list of categories, couldn't it? No, it can't. Let's keep it conservative here and just do 200. The job is not a list either, so we'll do 200. And the characters I want to say is going to be kind of large, because if someone plays all the characters in a movie, then that would come back as all the characters, right? So unless there's like one record per character here, it's possible. We'll just, data's free, right? It's your boss's wallet as far as space goes. Okay, so we are going to go over here and go to next. We are going to select our SQL Server. We are going to use SQL Server authentication again, and we're going to go get our password. I have it open somewhere else. There we go. Next. Hey, we're in. All right, next, finish. This is going to take a while because, man, we're looking at 3 gigs. Did I do basics? No, I did principles. Principles maybe it wasn't that big, was it? No, principles is the biggest one. So depending on how long this one takes, that's pretty much setting the standard there, isn't it? 7 million already. 8 million. Am I reading that right? I don't know. No, that's 1 million now. That's 1 million. Wow, this is just a lot of data. That's just crazy. Or maybe it's just really wide. Maybe the data is really wide and it's not that many records, but it just seems like such a large amount of data. I have to like watch my drive space, even though SQL Server is very good at storing data, right, and compressing it, but I kind of have to watch my drive space here. All right, should we get other stuff ready? Yeah, let's go get the next table ready at least. AKAs. We finally get to explore AKAs, right? Right click on the database, tasks, import data. Click next, and we're going to choose flat file source. We're going to choose our AKAs file, all files. There it is. Hit OK. And then we're going to make sure that our columns are tab delimited, which they are. And now right here, this data is the one that we have to fix, or these data types are the ones that we have to fix. So let's do that. All right, we have the title ID, which is where? Right here. This is where the AKA data is. All right, so title ID, we're gonna do varchar 100, I think is what we decided on. The ordering is an integer, so we'll use integer. Now I can't remember which one I used. 4 or 8, I can't remember. We'll go 8. Title. The title, I want to give it as many characters as I can, at least 1,000. If something's over 1,000, that's just really hilarious, I think. The region, let's do 1,000 for that too. Just because it's okay. You will not error out if you give it too much space, right? You'll never error out. You will error out if you give it too little space. And then what I can do is I can go through all of these tables, see what the max value is, see what the max length is, and reduce the column size by, to accommodate that. I can't do it the other way around. If I'm importing all these records, 7 million, 8 million records, and I get to one that is too large for the value or for the data type, it's going to fail. And then I have to do everything all over again. So I like being a bit, I don't like being conservative with my data. I like being generous with my data types first. All right, the language, let's do 200. Maybe there's a language out there that has it. All right, types is a list array. I'm immediately just going to go 8,000 on that. Immediately just going to go 8,000 on any list arrays because I can fit it. And again, if I can reduce it, then I will. Otherwise, I don't need to. All right, is original title. That's our first bit. That's our first bit column. And what this is DT Boolean. I think DT Bool. Where is it? DT Bool. And it'll write it as a bit out to the table. So let's hit next. We can preview, I guess. Hit next. Sign into our SQL server and then just wait for the other one to finish, right? SQL dev. Oh, that didn't type that in. Grab our password. Okay. We're in, but we gotta wait for the other one to finish. Still going. All right. I'm not very good without commas here, so that's 1. I can't. It's going too quickly. I think that's 9 million records right now. I think that's 9 million. I mean, SQL Server is doing it really, really quickly, and that's cool. PowerShell would have been done by now. DBA tools would have probably been done. But hey, we're using the tools we have at our disposal right now. And that's important. 10 million. Should we just start the other one? I would hate to lose all the progress that we have here, but I'm pretty sure I could just start the other one. So let's start AKAs. Aren't we an adventurous bunch? Look, there he goes. They're both going at the same time. And they're both going quick. It's not like they're messing up. The SQL Server, the computer I'm on is good. And SSMS, I have SSMS on the computer. But the SQL Server itself is not very robust. It does not have a lot of RAM. I think it has like 4 gigs of RAM. And it's running Windows and a SQL Server on it. So I'm kind of surprised that it's doing anything. I expect to sort of hear like the fans going on that computer right now, but it's very silent. So I'm almost tempted to start a third one in there just because why not? Let's go ahead. Right click. Tasks. Import data. Now I'm getting a little greedy, aren't I? Getting a bit too ambitious. But hey, this is dev. Why not? All right, we're gonna open up our next file. Let's give it a smaller file, right? So something like episode. We can probably go with episode because it's a really small file, or it's the smallest that's left. All right, so we have episode, it's a delimited file. We have tab delimited available for us. And, oh, it's already doing some failure stuff, isn't it? No, it's good. It's good. we're okay. We're okay. I do have to enable and disable my teleprompter because it decided to die, but now we're good. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and open it up. It's just 4 columns, so we're okay there. Let's bring up our, where are we? Episode, right here. We have our mapping. So if you haven't been able to tell, we kind of moved into our data engineer sort of portion of this, where we're no longer the architect. Obviously I still am, but I kind of put my engineer hat on and I'm making this all happen now, right? I'm importing the data. ETL engineers as well is another term that you can use for these, but they sort of put everything together, wire everything up, create it. Database administrators will also be in charge of this at times. So if you are doing this, like if it is you that does this portion, technically that would be ETL engineer, data engineer, sometimes database administrator on a Friday, that sort of thing. If you're a database administrator and you do this, it's either because no one else on your team will, or because you don't trust anyone else to do it the right way. It's one of the two. All right, tconst that we decided was 100. Parent tconst is also going to be 100. And then season number, that's just an integer. And so is episode number. I think we decided we're going to go I8 on everything. Or if we didn't decide that, I'm deciding it right now. Then we go next. Why not? Let's just make it happen. Are these other two done? We had an error in principles. Principles gave us an error. So that must be the other one still going. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Our SQL server crashed. Pretty sure. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe not. No, this one's still going. So it hasn't crashed. Maybe we should just let it be ourselves. Or let it be itself. Let it be a SQL server. And not like try to throw everything at it. So we were just testing the limits, I guess, right? And SQL Server crashed on us. So, or it didn't crash. Let's investigate. Let's see what happened. Let's see why it failed. We're gonna go to the report and view the report. And what did it say? Could not open global shared memory. Oh, no, it's good. It's good. Data conversion for column job, return status 4. Text was truncated. Text was truncated. Whatever I chose for job was too small. Truncation failure occurred. Title principles. What does that tell us, folks? That tells us that the PowerShell module DBA tools, there's a reason it chooses varchar max or varchar 8000, whatever it chooses. It's because it doesn't trust you when you say, oh, it's only going to be 200 characters. Or you as a data engineer maybe should go back to the architect and say, have you confirmed that this is actually 200 characters or whatever you told it. So what did I say it was going to be? Job. This was in principles, right? I just said varchar. I'm thinking that was like 1,000 maybe. That was a mistake on my part. Did it even create the table though? I think it did. I think it doesn't roll back. So here we can check what I did, like where I put it. And I said it was going to be 200 and the field was too large. The field was too large for that 200. So now you get to start over again for principles anyway. So we do one table at a time, right? All right, that one's still going. So that's good. Let's go ahead and start this one. What is this one? Oh, I can't generate the principal because I'm supposed to log in with my local login here. All right, that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna log in with SQL Server authentication. That was pasted twice. There we go. Next finish. That will teach us, chat, that'll teach us to be cautious and say, oh wow, this one's like immediately. Season number, overflow. Is it failed because error code specifies failure on error? What is the transformation issue? Season number returns status value 2. Oh, partial loss of data. So it has to be a big int. Let's explore that file. Let's explore this file. What file was even this episode? Let's take a look at the episode data right here. Right click and open. /n. That /n is going to kill us. Nothing can be an integer. Nothing can be an integer. We're just going to have to push it as a text. At least for the time being. Just for the staging environment, we got to push it as a text. That's going to happen for everything. So let's go back. And let's go to season number. And that's just going to be a varchar. String. 50 is good. 50 is okay for this string because it's a number. So hopefully the number doesn't have more than 50 digits, you know. All right, this is what we're going to do. Let me make sure that the table wasn't actually created, right? For whatever we're about to import. There's our report. Where are we? We're here, right? This is, what file is it? Episodes? I want to say this was episodes. So do we see episode here? Yeah, we do. Let's drop this table. Not rename it. Technically, you could rename it, but I'm not going to. Let's drop it. Episode, delete. Okay. All right, and now we can proceed with this one here. Yeah, this was episode. Okay, next, finish. That's going to be a lot easier for us. All right, so anything that we thought was a number, turns out it wasn't, at least not for the staging environment. We want it to be one. And what are we going to do? We're basically going to say anything that's n/n, we're going to null it out. There's no need to have that data there. I understand that IMDb, when they were exporting, wanted to say like it's non-applicable or /n, I guess, NA. But we don't need that. We can just say null. There's no need to have it. All right, so let's queue up the one that failed, right? Which was principles. Yeah, I want to go ahead and exit here. So we're going to say tables, refresh, and we are going to kill our principles. That's not fun. Hit OK, and then let's redo principles again. Is this other one still working? Yep, this other one's still working, so we're good there. Both of these guys are working. Let's just go ahead and restart principles. So right click, tasks, import data, and we're going to retry principles this time. All right, we're going to choose a plat file source. We're going to go find our principles file. Boop, there it is. Open. Columns. That's good. It's a tab. All right, let's make sure. Let's make sure we got it. Ooh, one of them finished or failed. I heard a little beep. I don't want to get distracted right now. So I'm just going to work on principles. But I think I saw a green checkbox. Green checkboxes are good, chat. Green checkboxes are good. All right, tconst is a 100. We all know that. Ordering is a we're gonna do big int. Oh no, everything. No, ordering, I can trust that it's an I8. I shouldn't. Like, if, how do I put this in a way where it's like black and white for you? You should treat this staging phase as like, I just need a place to put this data inside my server so that then I can filter it further. I can transform it further. I like to load the data first and then transform. That's commonly known as ELT, or extract, load, transform. I like to load it into SQL Server first and then transform it. So instead of ETL, ELT. Why? Because I want to be able to keep my mind off of the data while it's loading and then take care of it. I have the tools I need to be able to ingest the data as it is in SQL Server and then do some further work on it. That's fine. So the way I want you to picture this, if you plan on doing it the same way, is think about this as, what do I need to do to set this up correctly so that I can run it right before I go to lunch and just let it run? I know that sounds kind of irresponsible, I know, but we are putting safeguards around this, right? We know how much data there is. This is a dev server. You only would do this obviously with a dev server. I want to be able to do this so I can walk away and not have to like watch it the whole time. So how do I do that? I use the largest data types possible. Nconst, for example, I'm going to immediately go to 100. Ordering, technically ordering, you would say give it a varchar because the integer obviously failed us before. Category, I already know is big, so let's just do 4,000. Or job as well, right? Let's just do 4,000. We can always shrink it. We can never expand it while it's going. Same thing here. We're going to do 4,000 for our string. If that doesn't work, then you could just go 8,000. If you really want to walk away, you could go 8. In fact, we want to walk away. We want to walk away. Why am I just saying it and not doing it? I want to walk away. 8,000. Everything gets 8,000. We're like Oprah with data types here. Everybody gets 8,000. All right, next we're gonna go OLE provider. Next, hopefully the table doesn't already exist, so we're gonna right click on tables, refresh. Principles is not here yet, so we are good to go. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, SQL Server. We're gonna grab our password, our fancy password. You know a password's good when you have no idea what it is. That's the best kind of password, isn't it? All right, we're gonna hit next, and finish, and just let it go. Again, this is more than like 10, 15, 20 million records, so we're just gonna let this one go, and we're gonna take care of other stuff. For example, this one that just finished. I don't know what table it was. You can check. Nope. Title episode. If you want to know which table it was, just check the report. Title.episode is done. We are good to go there. So that's imported. This one's still going. Technically speaking, you can also use this diagram, or the data engineer can also use this diagram as a print it out and use it as a checklist. It's always cool. Another thing, this is actually going to be used twice. Once for the staging environment, and again when you create your permanent tables. Some people import straight to the permanent tables. I'm not that person, but some of you might be doing that. I call that sort of building the plane as it's going down the runway kind of thing. I don't recommend it, but hey, maybe you don't have the time. It's something that's so easy to do that I don't see why you wouldn't create a staging environment. So that's my one recommend. I've given you like 1,000 recommendations. Why would I say that's my one recommendation? That's one of many recommendations I have for you, is create a staging environment, and that's where you push everything. What other small ones can we import? We already have AKAs, episodes, principles, and ratings. I think names. I think we can do names. So let's try it. Let's just go ahead and start names. Import data. Next, flat file source. Browse. All files. Name basics. Hit OK. And we go straight to columns. Tab delimited. We're good to go there. And now let's bring up our ERD. There we go. Oh, nope. There we go. Are we good? Oh, name basics. There it is right here. Nconst, that's a 100. That hasn't filled us yet. Primary name, we're going to give it 1,000. Because I'm tired of birth year and death year. I want to say that these we need to make characters, because technically an actor could be digital and have no birth date, and also anyone who's still alive has no death year. So I'm just going to go ahead and make these strings of 50. I'm going to leave them as strings, and we'll nullify them later on, and I'll show you how to do that. Primary profession, that's 1,000. You know what? That gets 2,000, just in case someone has a primary profession that is 2,000 characters. Known for title, let's go maximum here, 8,000. You could be known for so many titles that it gets up to 8,000 characters. And I'm not going to have this fail again. Next, use the OLED provider for SQL Server. SQL Server authentication. Let's put in our handy dandy password. Hit next. And name basics. That's our table name. Hit finish and just watch it go. All right, we have 3 of them going right now at the same time. That's pretty dangerous. But hey, again, we just want to go out for pizza. All right, so we have 4 tables here. Basics, AKAs, episodes, principles, ratings. And just so you know, you can refresh this list now, even though your data hasn't finished importing. Why? Because the first thing it does is create that table. So I know that that I have 5 tables and that's it. I still need to start 2 more tables because I know, because the table doesn't exist here, I haven't even tried it yet. All right. So basics, AKAs, episodes, principles, and ratings. What else is there? Let's open these files. Crew. There's crew and title basics. Those are the 2. Let's start with crew because it's a smaller one. So right click on the database, tasks, import data. Next. Flat file source. Our source is a flat file. We're going to open up our file. Petrasio, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Hope you are having a great day so far. Hope you are enjoying the content. Please let me know if you have any questions and I will happily answer. If you want to quiz me on data stuff, that's fine too. Can't promise I'll be very good at that, but hopefully, considering I make a living on this, I'm okay. But yeah, hopefully you have a great day. Thanks again for the follow. All right, let's do crew. That's the file we're going to import. And we are going to do columns. There we go. Okay, this is a small one, but we can easily see right here, the writers /end. So that has to be a string file. This directors also has to be a string file. They're all strings. Let's use our ERD to determine what it is that we wanted to have in this table. What is this? Crew, right? I said it was going to be crew. Let me not lie. Crew up here at the top. There we go. Let's open it up. Ooh, sort of getting a little slow there. The computer. I think I'm asking too much of it right now, but hey, why not? Oh, did we say 1,000? I guess we said 1,000 in most of these. Okay, directors. Directors is a list and an array. 8,000. Just give it 8,000, folks. This is your boss's money, not yours. Don't worry. Tell your boss I said it's okay. Tell your boss I said it's okay. Look, this guy on the internet where I get all my information, he said it's okay to use 8,000 for your staging tables. Trust me, I'm a professional. OLED provider is the one that we are using. Ooh, we try to use, listen, the whole thing about me being a professional, just forget about the next 5 seconds when I'm about to get this error. I promise you can trust me. Okay, there we go. I know how to fix this. There we go. Okay, just a brief explanation on this because I haven't covered it. I've just been fixing the error as I go here. This right here is an issue because of the fact that this computer is not on the same domain as my SQL Server. They're 2 different machines, and because it's not on the same domain, I can't use Windows authentication from my computer that I'm running this on to my SQL Server. So I have to use SQL Server authentication instead. I don't have like some big Active Directory like you might have at your job. This is literally my pockets, my home lab. So I don't have some big, huge domain. each computer has its own domain. And so when I connect from my computer that has SMS to my SQL Server, I have to use SQL Server on that authentication because it doesn't traverse. I'm sure there's a way I can get it to work. I just really don't care enough to do it. I can easily switch over to use SQL Server authentication instead. And so it's a lot easier for me. All right, and hit next. Should we go ahead and just do this one? Oh, that's interesting. Directors and writers are right here. So we definitely need, no. Did we say 8,000 already? Now I'm kind of nervous. Let's check them. Yeah, we said 8,000. Okay, let's go. We gotta go for pizza. Remember, we got places to be. Let's get this data in here. All right, this is. I can't see if this is like 44 million or okay. The three is 100. That's 4 million. Okay, so this one's at 4 million. I'm just asking way too much of this. This one's at 1 million. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this one's at 1 million. And this one is at, I have to hover over, or it's moving too quickly and I just can't. I think this is 1.6 million. Okay. So stuff's just going. 4 million, 1 million, another 1.7, and this one's at 200,000. So it's moving along. The data looks good already, or it looks like it fits, and that's good. We have one more, I think. I already forgot which one it is. I'm gonna right click on tables and refresh. And now we should have pretty much everything that's in here. So name.basics, title.akas. Oh, I literally said like 15 minutes ago that I didn't want dots in my names. And then 6 out of the 7 tables now have dots in the name. So we'll fix that right after everything wraps up. I don't want to fix it now because it'll be disastrous, I think is the word I'm looking for. All right, title aka. We said crew and title basics, I think it was. Yeah, title basics and title crew. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, basics is the only one left. But as you can see, basics is on its own about a gig. So I think we gotta let it rest, right? We gotta let it do its thing. In the meantime, let's take a look at title ratings. And we're gonna fix something. What are we gonna fix? Well, I believe I saw one that had like number of votes not equaling a number, like /n or something. But average rating, I think, is probably not. Yeah, it's probably okay here. I'm surprised that average rating is a whole number though. You see that? That's kind of weird. Is it because I forced it to be one? No, it's a decimal. 28.0. Why 0? We imported this one wrong. Guess what we get to do? We get to drop this table. Yeah, I'm doing it. Don't worry, I'm a professional. Okay, we're gonna re-import title ratings. Maybe I should have checked the data before I did that and make sure that there's actually decimals here. But I'm willing to bet. Yeah, see, they're decimals. Let's do this right. Let's do this right. All right, what do we do to do it right? We have to make sure that what we made, the table we create is correct. So tax, import data. Go to next. And we're gonna go to flat file source. We're going to find a file and make sure that the data we import or the data types we choose are correct. The title ratings, hit OK, open it up, go to columns and see that right here, there's decimals. So we're doing this right. We're doing this the right way. Average, or this one, tconst is going to be 100. That's what we decided. Maybe 1,000. I don't know. It's complicated. Okay, and then here we're gonna choose the DT decimal again. Data scale right here. No, it doesn't let me choose. So technically I could use a float, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to keep it, again, super simple. I want to go out for pizza. We're going to use strings. And number of votes, that I can trust it to be an integer. So we're going to choose I8, the largest integer we can. Okay, and then we will choose this again, go to our password manager to grab our password. There it is. Hit next. Title underscore ratings, because now we remembered. And now let's import again. This is a really quick one, so we don't have to worry about too much issue here. This one's going to be done fairly quickly. So, oh, we got an error. We got an error somewhere. Title.crew. What was the error? It just stopped. No. Oh, here's the report. View report. Text was truncated on writers. I thought we made writers like 8,000. What do you mean text was truncated? All right, let's go back and see how big we made these columns. See, that's what I'm saying. Directors. Wow, 8,000 is too small. 8,000 is too small. That's wild. There's a data type that you can use called text, and it'll write it to that instead. How is 8,000 too small for writers? Wow. Okay. I guess I'm gonna. Wow. Oh, hey, we got one of them's done. Title ratings is done. Okay, that's good. That's good. We knew that was gonna be quick. Wow. 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 What is the one I'm about to drop so I don't mess something up? Is it crew? Crew's the one that we're crew. Let me just make sure here so I don't drop the wrong table. Yeah, it's crew. Okay, so crew is now going to be text fields. So we're going to drop that table, hit OK, and now we're going to re-import crew. Next, finish. That's crazy. That's just bananas. That the writers field has more than 8,000 characters. That's just wild. Okay, what else are we doing? Everything else is going. That's good. If we refresh, we should see 6 tables now. Yep. And now let's take a look at ratings again. Now we have decimals, right? But the problem is this is a text field, so it's gonna start importing everywhere as a text field. We want to switch it over to decimal. So what do we do to first establish hey, this is okay to do? Well, I like to use something called try cast. So try cast, what it'll do is try to convert, or you can use try convert I think too, but try cast will try to cast a value as another data type, and if it's not able to, it'll just return null. So it's really a safe way to cast it. Here's sort of an example. If I try to cast with a just plain cast, the t const. So if I try to cast t const as an integer, as t const int, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to fail on me. It's going to say, hey, I wasn't able to do that. But if I change that cast to try cast, what it'll do is it'll try to convert it, and instead of failing, it'll just return null for the ones it wasn't able to convert. So what can we do here, right? What we can do is we can put this in our where clause instead. And we can say, hey, where, give me any records where average rating cannot be a decimal 18.4. And how do I get it to say where it cannot be one? I'll just say where the try cast as a decimal 18.4 is null. Basically, whenever it returns null for the value that it tries to convert to a decimal 18.4. And I can actually add it here to the select statement as well, just to confirm everything. But as you saw, nothing. It doesn't it returns nothing because every single record can be converted to an 18.4. So that is great. Now what do? We're going to alter this table. Alter table, title ratings, and then we'll alter column. If you're in Oracle land, this will be modify column, or maybe some other like Postgres does that too. Alter column, and we're just going to say average rating as a decimal 18.4. Good. So now we can run that, and it'll change the entire column. It'll rewrite the data, or I think it behind the scenes what it does is it creates a new column temporarily, writes all the data there, and then swaps it out, does a hot swap. We could have done that ourselves too, but or maybe it just goes line by line and converts. I really don't. I can't be bothered to know why. I just know it works, and that's great. If you want to play the safe route, create a new column, have it transfer the data over, and then write it back. That's a good way to do it. All right, so we're gonna let that go, and then we're gonna explore some other. Is there anything else that's done? We have 4 that are pending. Title ratings is done. What else was small? What else was small? Was there anything else that was small? These 4 are in progress. That's why you should keep an Excel spreadsheet of what you're doing, what's active and what's done, so you don't have to end up like me, sort of wondering if anything's done yet. Episode is probably done. I think I remember episode being done. So basically, if none of these are episode, AKAs is in progress. Name basics is in progress. Oh, there's my computer being weird again. Principles is in progress, and okay, principles, basics, AKAs, and what else? Crew. Okay, that means episodes are done. So we're gonna right click and select top 1000 from episodes, and we're just gonna check out the data. Season number, episode number. These /ns here, what does that indicate? That indicates it's probably a movie. It doesn't have a season or episode number. So why am I even going to, or maybe it's just a 1-part series. Why am I even going to keep that /n value? I don't want it. I want to be able to convert these 2 numbers to a integer, basically. So what I want to do is I'm going to hit Control-Shift-R to get rid of these squiggly lines first. That refreshes in IntelliSense. So there we go. Now we are rid of them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, are there any records where season number can now be converted into an integer, right? We just did the whole try casting. So where try cast season number as int is null. And let's take a look at what that looks like without the where clause first. Okay, as season number int. So I'm only going to highlight the query without the where clause. Let's try that first. And we can see that when it fails to convert to an integer, it returns null. So that's how we know we are okay there. So when these are null, look, all of these right here, all of these are bad. So what are we going to do? Well, they're not bad. They're just, there's no information that /n gives us, and we want to be able to have these as an integer. So what are we going to do? We are going to update these values to be null. And basically what we want to do is we want to make sure we use where season number equals /n. I want to say that's the value. Let me just copy and paste right here. Yep. So we can select those first. Select star. Ooh, that was a dumb idea. Select top 100 star. There could be millions of records in here. All right, select top 100 star. There we go. It's doing that. So when the season number is /n, I want to update it to null. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take the same from and where clause, and I'm just going to change it to an update. Update T. I like to name it like TE for title episode. And then give this an alias of TE. And then say where TE.season number equals N. I'm going to update it, and I'm going to set TE.season number equals null. You don't say is null when you're updating value. This is probably one of the only times where I would say equals null, is when you update a value. All right, so let's make it happen. I don't know how long this is going to take. I forgot how many records there are in this table, probably a couple million. So it could take a while. We're doing a lot of stuff at the same time here, right? That's really interesting. Oh, do we get one more? Oh my God, how many records? Title.crew 0. 10 million records for title.crew. That's a lot. Oh, hey, and these are done too. This one's done updating. That's great. Okay, title.crew is done. We got this one updated here. We got one more to do, right? So now there should be no records that have a season number of /n or that are not an integer. Let's do the same thing for the episode number. Here we have the episode number. Let's return anything that has the episode number, trying to cast it as null. That's a good thing. So what we're going to do is actually just steal this code, this update statement. We're going to seal it and say update episode number, and where the episode number is /n. You gotta make sure you change both of them. Don't just change one and not change the other one, right? We need to make sure episode number is the target and also the where clause. So we're gonna update that as well. And then what we can do is change the data type to an integer to be more efficient, because we don't want it to be a string. We want to be able to evaluate it as an integer, as a number, all that good stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. Anything done? Nope, still going. So this turned into a data project, basically a start to finish data project. We created the ERD. Oh man, that's done already too. We created the ERD, we analyzed everything, we created the table structures, and now we're importing the data, and we're even transforming the data after we import it now. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and alter this table. Alter table, title episode. We are going to alter column, season number to be an int. If we can't, it will fail. Once it's done, I'm going to alter episode number to be an int as well. Man, I really like this keyboard. I can't believe it was so inexpensive. Yeah, it's weird. I'm a huge fan of Keychron. I have like 8 different Keychron keyboards, and this one is like super budget conscious, I guess you could say, because it was pretty inexpensive. But man, I'm a big fan of it. Oh, I think I can turn on the keyboard microphone instead. Let me see. I'm gonna mute myself. I like it. It's very nice. Did not think I would like it as much as I do, but I'm glad. Now, whenever I see it on sale, I'm just gonna buy more of them, because at least the yellow switches Maybe it's all in the switch. I will concede to that. It came with what are called yellow switches. I had never heard of yellow before. I've heard of, I have blues, reds, browns, opticals, all sorts of other switches, but I had never heard of yellows. So maybe it's the yellow. Maybe I just need to test out a yellow switch and see if I can convert a couple of my keyboards to them. I just like the sort of, it's gonna sound weird, but I think the unofficial term for this type of sound on a keyboard is called creamy. Like sort of unofficial, like creamy keyboard or something like that. Not a huge fan of the word, if I'm honest, or that word to depict that. But that's the official or unofficial term for it. All right, so this is still going. I'm altering that column. Are any of my imports done? No, they're not. I mean, let's take another look at our ERD and let's fix a couple things about it, right? Because we decided that all of our titles were going to be 100s. So varchar 100. You know, if it's to the point where I'm going to start passing this off to my team, just know that as an engineer, as an architect, when I have my architect hat on for this, this is going to allow me to create tasks as well. Hey, create title basics table, create title crew table, AKAs, episodes, principles, ratings, name basics. Those are going to be tasks. Each one of those are individual tasks. Then, hey, import the data into this table, this table, this table. There's 7 more tasks. Then change the data types up of each, review and change data types if needed of each table. That's 7 more tasks. So this ERD just serves so many purposes. And technically speaking, I know we've been going for 2.5 hours here, but technically speaking, this ERD does not take a long time to create, right? It just doesn't. You saw me create it at first. I'd say total time spent on it, if I put on some music, Kenny Loggins or something, I don't know. If I put on some music and just crank away at this is something that could be 20-30 minutes to create, really, with lots of detail. And so I really just recommend it all the time to just, whenever you're starting a data project, just make a quick ERD. If you're designing an application, make a quick ERD for how you're going to store the data. It removes any sort of like confusion, any sort of decision making. You could do it right here. You can see a map of your own data, how it's going to travel, how it's going to be stored. And it makes things so much easier. You can sort of go into autopilot instead. It's like building the Lego manuals for when you open up a set of Legos. You just go step by step. It's kind of what we're doing here. We're just building a diagram of how we want everything to build. Now I know why architects drop blueprints. Crazy, huh? I thought you just kind of gather a bunch of people with pizza and stuff and go, hey, let's build a house today. Yeah. Now I know why architects drop blueprints. Crazy. Okay, let's check up on our... Nope, that's Power BI. Oh, that was an interesting one. I just recorded a video on how to use field parameters, or how to set them up, and that was a fun report to do. Okay, things are still going here. Let's change this. Oh, didn't we have to answer a question like 45 minutes ago? Come on, chat, you're not keeping me. You gotta make sure I'm on task here. Okay, cardinality not confirmed, that's fine. Confirm the title ID is correct. Should it be changed to tconst? That's on AKAs. Oh, it's just we can't explore that data yet. Okay, let me go ahead and alter this to be integer 2. You can't explore it yet. AKAs is not done yet, is it? Basics, principles. Oh, is AKAs done? Maybe AKAs is done. Or is that the last one? Yeah, AKAs is still going. 8.6 million records, 4 million records, 8.0 million records. Wow, that's just so much. I don't want to disturb AKAs. Like, technically speaking, I know I can go in and just select from it, but I don't want to bother that table at all. consider that table locked, right? Checked out of the library. Just don't bother it while it's importing, especially not when things are going so slowly here. So let's check back on our ERD. Anything else? Basics to crew, that's still going as well. Name basics to title principles, is that still going? Name basics is still going. Title principles is still going. Wait a second. Title basics is not going. Let's check out our primary table. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Just not doing stuff. Oh man, our SQL Server is really slow right now. It is not happy. I'm doing a lot of work on it. It's like really not happy. It's like the database. It's not happy at all. It's not even returning the tables that are active or that are in this database. It's like busy. It's super busy. I don't know if it's gonna survive this. Oh man, it's still going at least. Like, I see it's still going, so that's cool. But if you look, like, I just refreshed these tables, and it's not showing me the tables. They're supposed to be there. The connection is like, look, I got stuff I'm doing right now. You could check on the tables later. Just go away. Yeah, that's basically what it's telling us right now. So I'm just gonna play another 5 minutes of our keyboarding game instead. That'll at least distract me. And I will be like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Hey, are you done? Hey, is it done yet? Hey. All right, let's switch over. There we go. Oh, that means, can't I like switch my keyboard mic on now? Yeah, I'm gonna switch my keyboard mic. I'll go silent, so you don't have to hear me babbling. You just listen to the keyboard and the game. Hey, Petrasio says, hey, how strong is data analytics affected by AI nowadays? Fantastic question. I would say right now we're still at the stage in which it's a very good tool. It's like the first person ever at a construction site to show up with a drill instead of a hammer, or a nail gun instead of a hammer. I think that's where we are right now. And there's several companies, I guess you could say, that claim that, hey, we are the air gun or the drill without the person, and we can do it without the human. I just don't think we're there yet. I've tried using a lot of those tools, and I don't think those are there yet. There's a lot of people who are promoting tools like that, and that's all well and good. You can do that. I'm sure they'll get there at one point, but right now it's just really good to have AI in your arsenal, in your tool belt, to help you instead of replacing you. And something that I've often said is the first people that AI is going to replace are the people who refuse to adapt and leverage AI as a tool. Maybe it's not true, but seems to be in my opinion. The folks who refuse to absorb AI and implement AI into their daily life are the first ones that are going to be replaced, in my opinion. So if robots start making your stuff, learn how to fix the robots, right? Learn how to use the robots, and you'll have a much better and easier time. Maybe that's, some of you may agree, some of you may disagree, but that's my standing on it. Thanks for pulling me out of that game there, Petrasio, because I have to check on the data. I don't know how the data is going. Let's go back and check on the data. There we go. Okay, let's go see if we can check up on our tables. Are we done? We're still going. All of them are still going. Man, 10. I'm so bad at like numbers when there's no commas around. It's like I'm lazy. I think that's 11 million records. Or is it 100? Is it 100 million? No, I think it's 11 million, 10 million, and what else we have? 6 million is where we're at right now. You could say that like running them all three at the same time is slowing down performance. You could say that that's not the case. SQL Server allows parallel processes to run at the same time, so I would venture to say it's not. SSIS would do this all the time. It's just there's a lot of data here, that's all. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, if all you're trying to do, folks, is just explore this data a little bit, if you're not actually trying to make something out of this, unless you just want to test whether or not you can do it, don't import all this data. It's not really necessary. You can get along just fine with like title basics, title.akas. Maybe like if you want to go down one of these paths, then definitely get like title basics and also one of these, or maybe two of them. You know, the smaller ones, that's fine. You don't need to import every single record. It's just not necessary. But it's really cool to do it, and I'm happy to show you how. But that's about it. I'm just kind of here waiting. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, okay. Actually, let's really quick while this is loading. And I say really quick, but it might turn into a long conversation. But let's talk about AI in data and how I used AI in data. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to point right there to a link that's going to pop up to the screen. But basically, what we want to do is, or what we did in a prior stream, is we use AI to sort of help us practice. Petrasio says there's already a prompt engineer certification. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, like maybe people make fun of that type of like, oh, prompt engineer, what do you do? Just type in stuff in chat GPT. Like literally, yeah, like you practice that sort of stuff, right? You build good prompts, and also you're allowing chat GPT to get better at prompts, right? It's not just like I type commands for chat GPT. It's I actually leverage the API, and I use that, right? I generate prompts to feed into ChatGPT. So I think prompt engineer is a really good position to get into, or a really good field to get into right now. Again, maybe a lot of people won't agree, but knowing what I know about data, if I said, you know what, I'm going to be a data prompt engineer, where I'll train ChatGPT and I'll help ChatGPT get better at data, help it architect things, because it's already, people make fun of it, but it's already pretty dang good. I'll tell you that right now. It's pretty dang good at what it does as far as data goes. A lot of people love to like bash on it, but that's the people that it's going to sneak up on. And I get it. It can't replace people at this point, but it is certainly a really good tool to use right now. And sometimes, yes, it gets the logistics of things poorly sometimes. It really does. And that's not, but ChatGPT has access to Microsoft documentation, to Oracle documentation. It's not like it's just like big time hallucinating like it used to be before. It knows how to browse the internet, read documentation about Microsoft products or Oracle products or Postgres or whatever, and actually give you good answers. It's up to you to fact check it for sure. But if you haven't used ChatGPT for SQL or for Power BI, for like functions and stuff, a lot of people are like, I don't know if it's about fear. I don't know if people are just afraid, but they're seriously discrediting it. And the only word I could think of is reckless for that. It's like you can't be so confident. You have to consider it a challenge. You have to think it's coming for your job so that you can better utilize it. Otherwise, again, you're going to be one of the first people it replaces. All right, so what last time we used ChatGPT, it was basically to say, hey, ChatGPT, feed me a prompt. Or sorry, it wasn't feed me a prompt. I'm going to feed you a prompt of like an industry. I want you to give me back 10 select queries, 10 select statements, and I'm going to do an ERD on them. So let's take a quick look at that. It's if you go to my YouTube, which is, I haven't put my socials on for a while. Let's do socials. Okay. If we go to youtube.com/SQLDevDBA, at SQLDevDBA, you'll see my videos. And one of the ones that I did was, if I just search here for like ERD, I'll probably get there. That's fake test data. God, I have a bunch of sim racing stuff. I haven't done one of those in a while. Diagram. Gateway install. Why can't I find? SQL interview challenge. This one right here. If you go to the SQL interview challenge, I'll pause that really quick because I really want to get to the description. Petrasio says, will there be any companies who would start hiding documentation and code in order to escape from AI theft? If they were going to, I believe they already would have. Basically, like my documentation doesn't go out on the internet, for example, for my data. Only like the data that you see here in these streams, that's just me sharing what I know. But like in my professional capacity, nothing ever makes it out to the internet to be documented. But like stuff from Microsoft, like Microsoft's not going to hide anything. Microsoft wants ChatGPT to know, so that because they leverage ChatGPT too. So Microsoft can say, hey, ChatGPT, read our documentation and give guidance on data analysis or data architecture, whatever. So I think the companies who were going to do that have already done it. And they don't need to anymore. All right, so right here, we have our description for this video, which is the SQL interview challenge video, reverse engineering, something. Let me go ahead and pop a link over. I think I can link it. Here we go. Yeah, this is the video. And here, I think there was like a prompt. Did I not have a prompt? That's weird. I didn't even put chapters on this video. What's wrong with me? Wow. I could have sworn I had put a prompt on this. I know the prompt is like inside the video, so maybe the Spanish version has it. Let me see. If I just search my channel for interview in Spanish in entrevista, right here. Okay, maybe this one did. No. Oh, right here, right here. Here's the prompt. Here's the prompt. Please create 5 to 10 SQL Server select statements with multiple columns using multiple tables, joins, and where clauses. I want to use the select statements to try and map the tables and relationships without knowing the structure or relationships beforehand. Please do not give me any information. You know how I always say please, because when it comes take over, they're going to remember I said please. Please do not give me any information on tables, only write out the SQL queries. Make sure the tables and columns have real names using names that would be found in databases containing information in the blank industry. Healthcare is the one I chose, and we did it, but it could be any industry. And so I'm going to put this in ChatGPT right now. Let's go to chat.bing.com. I'm not even going to use ChatGPT, even though I pay for it. I'm going to use Bing Chat. Chat.bing.com. That's all you got to do. I think that's the one we used in the video too. Petrasio says, I've heard about VMware trying to forbid AI to its engineers to protect proprietary code. Sure. And they're just going to bring a MacBook or some other computer to their desk and just be typing away there and just copy and paste that stuff. But VMware is smart to not allow like company access to ChatGPT or AI or anything like that, because it's true. Once ChatGPT has a hold of it, it's going out. I know they have like a secure API too. I'm not trying to like dig on ChatGPT or anything like that. I'm sure they have their safeguards, but you can tell that it's just absorbing information by the day. So Petrasio, give me an industry. If you're still here, I don't mean to call you out specifically. I'll wait a little bit. You give me an industry and I'll have it run that simulation, and then we'll take a look at some of the queries and how we could do an ERD. If you don't want to give me an industry, game dev. Okay, oh, love it. Thank you. Petrasio says game dev, game development. We'll call it by full name. Video game development, right, is probably what we meant. So let's be as specific as possible when we're giving the instructions, right? So please create blah blah blah. Give me, and all I had to replace from this prompt was video game industry or video game development industry. So I'm going to copy this and paste it over in the chat so that anyone who wants to go to chat.bing.com, which is 100% free, or even ChatGPT, go here, type the same prompt in, and look what happens. So it gives me 10 queries of a fake database that it thought of based on the video game industry. So platforms, games, releases, developers, game developers, publishers, characters, game features, game awards, development teams, and bugs. It gave us what, like 10 tables already here? So, and not only that, but the fact that it gave us a list of queries that have joins and where clauses in them. What does that mean? That means two things. Number one, or three things. You can create all the tables. Petrasio says same output here, probably slightly different, but I'll tell you this, Petrasio, go ahead and just say, can you give me 10 more queries? That's all you have to tell it. And it'll give you 10 more queries. Sales, regions, more tables in here. Patches are here. So now the bugs have patches. So you can create an entire ERD based on just these queries. Why? Because you have the table names, you have the column names inside of each of those tables, and you have joins and where clauses that give you very good hints as to the relationships between the two tables or many tables and the data types you should be using. It's a really good tool. If you are a student out there, folks, if you're a student, use it. Use it. Petrasio says, so the design is practically done. Okay, I want to make sure that we understand what I just asked it to do. Okay, what I asked the prompt to do. I didn't ask it to design a database. What I asked it for was, hey, give me some sample queries of a database that you're going to pretend already exists, and I'm going to use those queries to try to sort of analyze what the database looks like. So I can only go off of what it gives me as far as queries. I can't invent my own columns. I have to try to take its word for it. But just understand that I didn't ask it to design a database. I asked it to give me queries of a database it thinks already exists in the video game development industry, and I'm going to use that for a quiz. This is if you are a student. I'm not asking it to teach you about database designs here. What I asked ChatGPT was, give me an exercise in which I have to try to sort of analyze your queries and design an ERD about that database based on the queries by themselves. Okay, so just make sure that we make that distinction. Can it design simple databases? 100%. That's not even up for discussion. Can it design simple databases, or can it design robust databases as good as a data architect can, as good as my years of experience? Maybe like 75, 85%, maybe. There's certain nuances that are specific to your organization, your team, the need for that particular project that it's not going to know. Unless you give it that context, it's not going to know. And so it's up to you to fact check it, right? It's up to you as the data professional to say, I use this as a template, and then I'm going to take it to the 100%. I'm going to take it to the finish line. But this is fantastic. I would encourage you to watch my video. Like, I'm not, trying to, what's it called? Not trying to promote my videos or anything. I'm not monetized or anything, so I don't have any stake in that. But if you want to try this exercise, I really, really encourage you to do so, because I'm like enamored by this exercise, because someone posted it on Reddit like a couple of months ago, and that's when I did this video, the initial video, and it helped me so much, because now I'm going to be using it as an interview exercise. I'm going to be, if I'm interviewing like a DBA or a data architect, this is the style of question that I'm going to ask them. Here's a bunch of queries, design an ERD. If you can't do that and you're a database administrator or data architect, I'm sorry, I don't want you on my team. Like, I need someone who's going to be able to design, not just design. Like, I'm not even asking you to design. I'm just asking you to map something. Just map the database that you're in. And so I think that's a really good way of determining whether or not someone understands how to navigate a database. Because day one, I might ask you, like, I might have hired you just to create database maps of new organizations that we go into. Let's say I'm a consulting company, and we go and we land at a job site, and we're supposed to figure everything out of how the database is structured, and all we have access to is just simple, queries and some data schemas and stuff. We have to build it out for them. They've asked us to provide documentation as part of our delivery. I need someone who can do that like immediately. So this is a really good way to do that. Hopefully that answers your question of how you can leverage AI, as how I leverage AI as a data professional, and to continue learning. That's really what the goal is of this channel, is just to facilitate learning. How are we doing? How are we doing on our imports? We still going? Oh, we got one. Name basics, that's done. Sweet. Name basics, that's the one we wanted, right? That's our like base table. Let's go back to that ERD. Oh, I should show that ERD actually. Yeah, here it is. ChatGPT exercise 1. This was a healthcare one that I did with just 10 queries. I was able to produce this ERD in that last video. This is the ERD that we, it was a hotel management one, and I think that may have been the Spanish one. Healthcare was the English one. I don't remember which one was which, but I chose 2 different industries for the Spanish version versus the English version. I didn't want to be repetitive. It's a lot of fun. It really is a fun project, and it keeps you busy. It keeps your brain kind of working. So yeah, we could technically do that. That was my original idea for this video, actually, or for this stream today, is just to make another one of these. But thanks so much for the idea, Petrasio. Video game dev is probably like one that's super relevant and super cool, and so I believe it'd be a good one to explore. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let's take a look at our name basics. All right, this guy's done too, right? The alter column. So now we have a really good column. Now we have a really good table in our new title episode table. Let's see if it'll let us view our tables, if it's not too busy. Petrasio said AI is strong in healthcare too, I guess. Yeah, 100%. There's like it's a podcast on how they were using AI to diagnose using images and radiography images and analysis. Like they were feeding it, and they were asking it to like diagnose stuff like broken limbs, or even diseases, that sort of stuff. Obviously, like, it needs the doctors to fact check it, but all it's doing is learning. So if you tell it, oh no, that's wrong, it's actually leg fracture, next time it's going to recognize a similar image or the same image, and it's going to recognize it. It's going to diagnose it properly. PRSY says it's quickly going to replace radiologists. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a very good tool by the time. I think everyone that's working right now, or most everyone that's working in an industry right now, it's going to be a fantastic tool that is not going to replace many people until after they retire. But man, we're moving really quick here in AI, so I don't really know. PRSY says deep learning, handcrafted features, multi-layered architectures are very powerful. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to replace anyone until we're all retired. But again, I just said 20 minutes ago, if you're too confident, you're going to be one of the first people sucked up by it. And so I'm doing my best to just leverage it as a tool, and helping you all leverage it as a tool, so you can say, yeah, I use AI. I'm not afraid of it. It's like I'm not afraid of drills. As a construction worker, I wouldn't be afraid of drills. I wouldn't be afraid of air guns or nail guns. I wouldn't be afraid of bulldozers. Like, they're just tools. They're just tools, and they make me more efficient. They make me better at my job. That's what you have to. Again, I'm just a sole person babbling, but that's how I feel about it. Okay, name basics, is that the one that just finished? I thought it was title basics that did, but I realized we haven't even started title basics. So let's take a look at name basics. All right, cool. So we have like birth year. See, apparently this person was never born or never died. So that's cool. Primary profession, nothing. It's probably unknown, right? Or NA, not enough information, that sort of thing. And that's cool. But all these, like, I don't want /n to be my value. Like, I really don't. And so what I would do here is I would nullify birth year. I would just update it, right? So let's do that right now. Let's say where birth year equals /n. Select top 100 star. That's all we need to know. Just make sure we get all of these. Ooh, that's slow. So updating this is going to be very interesting. But let's do it. I mean, we don't have a choice. Update this table. Set birth year equals null, where the birth year is /n. This I'm going to alias it as NB name basics and update NB and name basics. And there we go. That's our first update statement. And we're going to do death year, same thing. Primary profession, same thing. And known for title, same thing. There's so much. Oh, it's like stuck. Oh no, it's just going very slowly. It's probably because I'm doing all this other work elsewhere, right? Or because two big tables are going on right now. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. This is 15 million records already. This is 9 million. So, I mean, we went through the ERD. We went through how to change it. Great conversations about AI. Thank you so much to Petrasio, BownerSoup, and MPRFY for your conversations there. Super good questions. Really happy to been able to have the conversation. I think I want to go watch a stream called CursosDeDesarrollo. If there are any Spanish speakers here, I'm going to do a quick shout out to CursosDeDesarrollo. They are a fantastic streamer from Spain who basically just shares software development of any most facets, full stack kind of stuff. And he's an amazing knowledge sharer. He's actually a real professor, so he's an amazing professor, and he shares a lot of information for free. It's very cool and very very warm personality, and also just a great vibe in that room. Obviously, it's all in Spanish, but he does know English, and he does teach in English, I believe, just very rarely, because he wants to help out the Latin American and Spanish community. But I think I want to go head over there and check it, because this is just taking so long, and I don't want to bother you guys. I don't want to I don't want to make y'all wait for this stuff. We did a couple things right. I'm gonna keep going on these as I watch him, and I'm also going to just share the script. So if you're watching this on YouTube or anything like that, and for those of you who are on Twitch, if you're watching this on Twitch, you can head over to YouTube when it gets posted. If you follow my channel, and you will get a notification for when this goes live. I'll do socials again. And I'll include all the scripts. I'll include the ERD that I did here. I'll include all that stuff in a Google Drive link, so you can just go download it and check it out for yourself. Huge thanks to Brent Ozar as well. If you shout out Brent Ozar. If you don't follow his channel, highly recommend that you do, because it is, first of all, he's hilarious, and he's amazing for sharing all this stuff. He was actually one of my biggest inspirations for starting my own channel. But he's the one that shared the whole IMDB database stuff. So huge shout out to him for doing so. Check out his channel. He is fantastic. I think he has a Black Friday sale right now for all his training courses, if you're interested in SQL Server training. But yeah, I think I'll be able to head out, because this is just not gonna it's not gonna finish anytime soon, I think, and I want to let it go. But thank you all so much for stopping by. Really appreciate you all. I will try to be on next weekend as well, and I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday. Take care, everyone. See you.